Hello, hello once again, ladies. You are officially inside. This is the Sense Power Circle for our live webinar conference, Fierce, Focused, and Fired Up. I'm so excited and feeling truly blessed, unstressed to be here with you guys. You're tweeting, you're on Facebook. Ladies are registering as we speak to participate because so many wonderful things are happening. I've got an amazing woman here to speak with you today, Rosetta Thurman. I know that you guys know her already. She is absolutely awesome. We're going to have a money talk, okay? And so she's going to talk about how to make money at least $1,000 a month in your business, even if you're just starting out. So we're excited to have her here, and I am ready to rock. Are you ready to rock?
I'm ready.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, ladies. We're about to begin. So now you've got presenter mode, and we're looking for the presentation. Awesome. So ladies, we're about to begin how to make $1,000 a month in your business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again. I have just been on the line listening to all of the other speakers share some amazing knowledge, so I'm here to give you a little bit more and hopefully help you put together and bring forward into a plan of how you can use these strategies to help you make at least $1,000 a month in your business. So I use this number just because for many women and for many of you on the line, this is the first milestone you're going to want to reach for this year if you haven't reached it yet. So I'm Rosetta Thurman, and I am the founder of HappyBlackWoman.com, and my mission really is to empower women to create their ideal lives. And I do this through personal development and entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story and why I find those two things to have been so important in my own journey. But I'm so glad that you're here. So today we're going to cover the magic question I ask all of my clients that motivates them to take action on their income goals. I'm going to share 5 different ways. So 5 different ways you can make $1,000 a month in your business. So if you do not have a pen and a piece of paper handy, make sure you get that right now because you're going to be taking some notes. And you can choose between some of these ways that you can make $1,000 a month or create an additional $1,000 based on your passion, skills, expertise, and experience. You've gotten a lot of information today that can help you build multiple streams of income for this year, which is a really powerful place to be. And finally, I will share with you the exact marketing plan template that I use with my private coaching clients that you can implement to get your business off the ground this year and finally start getting paid to do what you love, which is what I know we're all here for. So this is our agenda for today. So just to kick this off, I know many of you know me, but all of you don't know me. So I will share a bit about my journey to entrepreneurship. Like I said, right now, what I'm focused on is empowering women in their life and business at happyblackwoman.com, but I didn't start there. Not at all. My professional background is in the nonprofit sector, so I've been helping people pretty much my whole life, but my career, my job was in the nonprofit world. I was a fundraiser. I raised money for good causes, youth development, community development, training for leaders, so leadership training. I did a lot of things in nonprofits. And so back in 2006, I got my master's degree in organizational management. I learned how to manage an organization and a business. Really, nonprofit is just a type of a business, and I loved it. I loved being that manager, that leader. And I, like many of you, decided to share what I knew, to share my expertise. So this is a note. If you're taking notes, then you will want to note to self is you don't need to go out and get more education to run a successful business. You just need to share what you already know. And so I decided in 2007 to start a blog to share what I knew about nonprofit leadership and management and career development. And it quickly took off. I mean, there weren't that many blogs in my industry at that time, and there's still not a whole lot. But I started writing about my expertise, using the online tools that LaShonda's been talking about, that other folks have been talking about. I mean, it could have very well have been a Google Hangout if that had been available at that time, but it was blogging because for me, I'm a writer. I found it easy to write and share my expertise. So I started writing, and people started commenting and sharing my posts. I was writing a lot about diversity and young people in the field of nonprofits and social change. And I ended up getting my first paid speaking gig that very next year. I mean, started the blog, I think, back in April 2007, and by that January probably, or at least by the next April, I had my first paid speaking gig. And the way that came about was, again, you're going to want to take notes. If speaking is something you want to do this year, wow, I never thought I'd be a speaker. I am an introvert. I'm actually an extreme introvert, so I resonated with what LaShanda said earlier today about being more of a writer and not a speaker. That was me. But my mentors pushed me to get out there and share my message because everybody doesn't read blogs. Everybody doesn't read books, to tell you the truth, unfortunately. So I saw an opportunity to do a free speaking engagement, and I sent the organizer a link to my blog and said, hey, I want to speak at your event. It just happened to be during Congressional Black Caucus Week in D.C. Those of you who kind of know the scene there, it's a huge opportunity to be seen in front of a lot of African American leaders. And so I put myself out there, sent them a link to my blog. They accepted me on the panel. I was the youngest person there. It was a free speaking engagement, totally outside my comfort zone. But in the audience that day that I was doing that panel, there was someone from Boston, and he was looking for a speaker for his upcoming event. So I spoke for free that September, and I was getting paid to speak by that next April. So I leveraged my blog. I said, okay, I guess now I'm in business. I guess now I have to start figuring out what my prices are and everything else. So I literally began speaking and consulting on the side, and all I had was a little hire me page on my blog, and it was ugly. It was an ugly little free blog on Blogger. I went to blogger.com to set up a blog, and it was not fancy. So I love what LaShanda said earlier about starting where you are with what you have. I would not want to show you what that old blog looked like, but it worked. For what it was, it worked, and it didn't prevent me from getting paid speaking engagements. So that's another note to yourself for this year. Start where you are. So my journey went on, and in 2008, with putting myself out there as a speaker and a consultant, I earned about $10,000 that first year from a side hustle. Now, I was still working my full-time job. I wasn't broke. I wasn't, struggling. It was nice to have the extra income to put with my job, because then I could take some vacations. I could do a little bit more eating out, happy hours with my friends. I bought clothes. I just was living a better lifestyle, is what I'll say. And then 2009, I stepped up my efforts. I became known more in my industry, and I doubled my extra income on the side from my side hustle, and still have my full-time 9-to-5 job. So I call this presentation, how to earn $1,000 a month, because in my experience, and I only teach what I know, I can't teach what I don't know, but what I know from my experience is that first $1,000, getting to that point helped me get the confidence and the strategy and structure to get to the point where I could actually make a full-time business out of it. right? So we gotta go in stages. Like LaShanda said, you gotta stay in your lane, right? If you haven't made $1,000 a month yet, you don't want to be psyching yourself out thinking you gotta earn $10,000 a month. You gotta get to that first milestone before you move on. So so that was my journey. And so then, let's see, I'm kind of going in a timeline to help you see my progression here. So 2010 was the year that I decided I was going to quit my job and work for myself full time. And for me, it wasn't that I hated my job. I tell everybody all the time, I did not hate my work or my job. I loved it. But I also knew that I'd been there for a while and I wanted a challenge. So I wanted to challenge myself, and I think that this year for some of you is going to be the year that you finally challenge yourself and prove to yourself that you can do it instead of wondering, is it possible? So I knew that if I had some long-term consulting contracts, I could feel comfortable putting in my resignation letter. So I did that. I quit, and I left with 2 long-term consulting clients, and one of them was my former employer. and that was pretty amazing to have a year. I had a year contract and a 6-month contract with another organization, and between those 2, I replaced my income. I knew I would be okay, at least for my first year. So that was that. And for some of you, you may be in the space where you're making this decision. Do you want to quit your job to do your business full time? And I have to tell you that it's not an all or nothing decision. If you can get one job, you can get another one. So don't worry about that part. If you go with your business and you figure out that it's not the right thing, you want to go back to work, fine. The jobs are going to be there. Unless you commit a crime and you get put in jail and you got a record, you're still going to be able to go back to your industry and get a job. So 2010 was also the year that I launched happyblackwoman.com as a personal blog. So remember, my field is the nonprofit field. And at that time, I wasn't doing anything in personal development or business development. I wasn't doing any business coaching or life coaching or anything. I was just doing nonprofit stuff. But in 2010, I decided to start another blog. Remember, that will be my consistent marketing tool has been blogging. So I started a new blog, and that was about my journey of how I quit my job, what I was experiencing, the things that were working, that were not working, my ups, my downs, my everything on that blog. I also wrote about going natural, right, and became very popular. So I was just writing that blog on the side as a personal project. That same year, I co-wrote and self-published my first book. And that first week, we had about $1,000 in sales. People told us nobody would buy a book about nonprofit careers because it's not a lucrative career, but they were wrong. 2011, that next year, I was riding high. I had a great first year. It was the worst year ever financially in my business, and I'll tell you why. I didn't plan. I didn't plan for what was going to happen the next year. I lost a consulting contract. I thought about going back to work, but I didn't. And one of the things that made me not do it was because I had a taste of freedom. I had a taste of freedom. And once you are free, you don't want to go back. So my initial goal had just been to earn the same salary I had at my last job, and I decided I had to change my goal. I had to really look at my goals. And so that's going to be important for you as you build your business, is to make sure that you have clear goals. So I said, you know what, I don't want to go back to a job, and going forward, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure I don't have to go back to a job. So that became my mantra. So that next year, I started building multiple streams of income, and I realized the importance of that, because what happens when you lose a consulting client? What happens when you don't get that many speaking engagements? What happens when you don't get that many career coaching clients? It was a very a very tenuous place that I put myself in. So I said, you know what? I got to start building multiple streams of income. I can't just be a speaker. I can't just be a consultant. I can't just be a coach. I've got to make some products like LaShanda was teaching us earlier. I've got to have some information products. I've got to have some online training courses. So I also wanted to become location independent. I wanted to travel. I got a taste of freedom. In 2012, I went to Europe on my dream trip. I went to Greece, Italy, and Spain. And that was one of the things that was like, wow, I love this lifestyle, and I am going to figure out how I can keep it. So my income went back up that year. I really figured out how to build multiple streams of income. The next year, I moved to Honolulu, Hawaii. I closed down my nonprofit consulting business and started focusing on Happy Black Woman full-time. That may have been when some of you found me. So this is my second business. Happy Black Woman is my second business because I became more passionate about empowering women on my blog. They were asking me questions. We started having little meetups, little happy hours. I loved connecting with them. And people were asking me, you know, how did you get your business started up? How can I do the same thing? How are you traveling like this? How can I do that? How do I get online? How do I start my blog? So that's what I started focusing on, and it has been really exciting. So that year, I earned 30% more salary than my salary at my last job because I planned for it. And last year, I earned more than 6 figures in my business. I never thought I'd be able to make that much money on my own, but it's possible. Right now, I'm currently exploring Mexico, a place I've always wanted to go. I love the food here. I've been gaining a little weight, actually, which may or may not be a good thing, but there's a picture of me down on the right of in Playa del Carmen, which is right on the beach. It's beautiful here. So that's just a quick snapshot of my journey to let you know where I've come from. I started out with my first milestone of $1,000 a month. And if you haven't gotten there, I want to help you get to that place. Because after that, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. All right, so just a quick rundown of where that money came from to give you an idea of where I'm going with this is my journey has included more than 100 paid speaking engagements since that first one in 2008. I grew to go from a nonprofit career to a personal development and business coaching company. I had to grow Happy Black Woman from 0 to 12,000. Well, actually, I had to update this. We've got about 18,000 email subscribers now. Now we have about 190,000 Facebook fans, 10,000 Twitter followers. I think we're getting, I don't know, page views, probably 80, 90,000 page views a month right now. And throughout the way, I had to successfully launch multiple information products. And so this is just a list of the different programs and products that I've put together. The How to Become a Nonprofit Rockstar book, that was the first one. For many of you, you have a book inside of you, and you haven't published it yet. The book that is not published can't make you money, ladies. You got to get it out there, because once you publish that book, like you saw with LaShanda, you start getting asked to speak, you start getting invited to be on TV. So many things open up for you. So you've got to launch. You've got to launch your products. You've got to launch your programs, because this is what helps you get to that $1,000 a month and beyond. I also created a program called Personal Branding Bootcamp. We had 31 Days to Reset Your Life, a practical guide to personal transformation. That was another ebook program. The Blogging School, some of you have gone through that program. I teach everything that I know about blogging and building businesses through that medium. We had a Side Hustle Bootcamp. Again, this is just what LaShanda was teaching about, responding to what people are asking you for. So if people are asking you all the time for coaching or advice, and you're still sitting back saying, well, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know if it's worth charging for. This is what we have a lot of different phrases around the Happy Black Woman community, and one of the phrases that I use a lot is stop arguing with God. Stop arguing with God. And you find yourself doing that when you say, well, I don't know if I'm ready. But here you have people asking you for help. you're arguing with your gift. You're refusing to put the gift out there that you've been given. So everything that I've put out there has been in response to something that people have been asking me. If people are asking you, then there's a value in the marketplace, and you've got to put it out there. If you hold it inside because of your own fear, you're arguing with God. God has shown you through other people that you have a gift to share. People say, oh, you're such a good writer, you should put out a book, you have a lot of stories to share. People are always saying, oh, you should be a motivational speaker, and you still are doubting yourself. You're in that place where you are arguing with God, and you need to stop. This year, you need to stop that. So these are, again, the programs we put out there. We have the Launch Your Business Bootcamp, Powerful Goal Setting, which we're in right now for 2015. How to Become a Professional Speaker has been one of our most popular programs. Just really teaching what I know. One of the most powerful things you can do is teach what you know, not what you see other people doing or what's been popular for other women in business, but what is authentic and relevant from your journey. I don't teach anything that I have not done myself. It's just a lot easier that way, right? So people were asking me about speaking, and I created a speaking course. And last year we launched the Happy Black Woman year-long mastermind program because people wanted a longer-term way to work with each other. And this has helped thousands of women all over the world. That is the point of doing all this. So what's possible for you when you take action and when you actually get those programs and products out there to the world? When you stop arguing with God and you finally say, okay, everybody's telling me I need to do this, I need to get this out there and serve people and help people and leave my mark on the world. So what's possible when you do that? Time freedom. You get to be in control of your time. If you want to quit your job this year or next year, you can get yourself out of the cubicle. It's up to you. Lifestyle freedom is possible. For me, this is the biggest thing. I swear, at this point, even if I wasn't making six figures in my business, I would still, have a pay cut and just to have the freedom of doing what I want with my life. I don't have to take off work. I don't have to ask someone for time off. So, for me, it's all about experiences. The left picture is me doing a cooking class in Italy, in Florence, making pasta from scratch. On the right side is me skydiving here in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen. Location freedom is possible. You can live where you want, go where you want. A lot of people are living in a certain place because of their job. If you are able to work your business or maybe go part-time at your job, you have other options of where you want to live. Maybe you're tired of being in Houston or D.C. or Chicago or whatever. I decided I didn't want to be in D.C. anymore. It gets cold. Sometimes it snows. That's not for me. So being in places like Hawaii and Mexico, and I visited an island in Greece in 2012, Santorini. I love being able to go there, go to those places. And financial freedom, of course. This is one of the big things. I've been able to pay off a lot of bills. This year we're paying off even more debt, and hopefully by the end of this year we'll reach our goal of being debt-free. But financial freedom is possible not just for you but for your family. Some of you know my mom. I helped her start her business back in 2007, 2008, and her business took off before mine did, and she was able to buy my grandmother a condo in Ohio. So my grandmother, she was on Section 8. We haven't, everybody in our family isn't financially successful. So she was able to get my grandmother out of Section 8 housing, off that program from the government and buy her own home. She gets to do whatever she wants with it. And that was beautiful for us as a family and really inspiring to me. And now we're planning a family trip in Jamaica for everybody to come to go. So that's going to be interesting and really, really powerful if we can pull it off. But it's financial freedom not just for you but for your family. So So the question I ask all my clients is, when your business is successful, what will you be able to do? You have to write this down because this motivates you to do all the stuff that's boring, tedious. Most of you probably don't want to learn how to do Google Hangouts unless you're a technophile, but you know you need to so that you can promote your business and you can leverage the technology to do the things you want to do, like have freedom and travel and support your family and leave a legacy. So I want you to write down, when my business is successful, I will be able to. So write down whatever comes up for you. You can go ahead and type into the chat box. When your business is successful, whatever success looks like for you, what will you be able to do that you are not able to do now? Oh, I can see the chat. Oh, this is so cool. Hey, Claudisha and Katoya. Glad to have you ladies here. Our Happy Black Woman community is everywhere. We travel in packs. Let's see. Oh, Pam. Oh, you're funny. I'd love to meet your daughter. Let's see. Cynthia says, leave my cubicle job. Lisa says, share my gifts. Marceline, hopefully I'm saying your name right, have freedom to travel. Paula says, be able to spend more time with my kids in the summer. Dwanice, buy my own house. Oh, so many inspiring goals here. Shamarian, I'll be able to help my family, send my boys to college, and be my own employer. I love it. So this is really, LaShanda talked about activating your vision. This is part of your vision because I don't know about you, but I'm not in business just to be in business, to make money, because you can make money, at a job. You want to be in business because there is no ceiling, there's no limit to your success, and there's no limit to your freedom. So when the going gets tough, and you might be in that place where the going is tough or has been tough, you want to pull out your notes and look at why you're doing this. And I can see from your responses that it's not all about you. Pam just said, buy my parents a winter home. I mean, that is priceless. That is something, that's an experience you'll never forget. So a lot of times the work that we're doing now is not just for you. So when you want to lay down and take a nap, take that power nap, right? Give yourself your 15 minutes, but jump right back up and keep it moving because we don't know how much time we have left, right? And we hope that we'll get to see our parents do certain things. I want to see my grandmother do certain things, and I don't know how much time she has left. So we have to really be mindful of the time that we've been given here on earth and the reasons why we're doing what we do. Okay, so the problem is once you get that vision, we start to wonder, am I really able to do that? Am I capable of it? And what happens is we pay a heavy price for our fear of failure. It's a powerful obstacle to growth. That's a great quote from John Gardner. You don't want to start thinking about failure because what did I say? You've already been given the ability to help people. When you give in to your fear of failure, you are basically calling God a liar. Pretty much. We used to get in trouble when I was younger when we would use the word liar. My grandmother would say, don't use that word. It's a terrible word to call someone a liar. So you don't want to do that. You want to really have the strength and to manifest the gifts that you've already been given. Don't let that be an obstacle to your growth. If you've been given a vision, you've also been given the ability to make it come true. If you have been given a vision, you have also been given the ability to make it come true. And there's no doubt about it. There's no arguing with that. It's just a fact. So I'm going to share the 5 ways you can make $1,000 a month. And I want you to really be thinking of the possibilities for yourself. I don't want you to think, oh, that's not possible for me. I want you to think of, oh, wow, how can I get started on this today? That will put you in the right mindset. So number one, freelancing. So again, many of you have many different talents, expertise, education. These are 5 ways you can turn it into moolah. So number one is freelancing. And so how could you make $1,000 a month with freelancing? Well, there's a lot of different ways to be a freelancer. It's the easiest way to get into business. If you're a photographer, you do web design like LaShanda. She does some great websites. If you want to be a personal stylist, these are all services, service-based businesses. And it's very simple to promote these types of businesses. If you're a copywriter, an editor, you do social media management, personal training. My mom started out as a personal trainer, and now she does coaching for women who want to do figure competitions. She's really buff. She's always been that way, but she's turned her skills into so many different income streams. But freelancing is one way to get started. And with a freelancing package, a service package, depending on what you're doing, all you would need is one client per month at $1,000. So if you had a photography package, that was $1,000. That's only one client you need to get for a month. If you do websites and your websites cost $1,000, guess what? You only need to do one website every month, and you hit that mark, right? So when you break it down like this, it makes it, for me and for many of my clients, it makes it seem less daunting and more doable. So second way, consulting. So that's how I started out. When I left my job, I had 2 consulting contracts. And you can do all different types of consulting by sharing your expertise or actually implementing some type of work that a business or an organization needs done. You could do business consulting, nonprofit consulting, church ministry. A lot of ministries are expanding and need people who are not full-time staff but contractors. So that is called a consultant. Even government consulting. So the contracts I had, and again, I'm teaching you these 5 ways because I've done them all. I actually have done 10 things in terms of earning income in my business with multiple income streams. I just have time to go over 5 today. But I'm teaching you all of this because I've done it, so I know it's possible. So to have a consulting contract for just $1,000 a month, you would sign a contract for a year, which would be $12,000 for the year. That's only one client. What if you had several clients at $1,000 a month? I mean, you could see how it could grow from there. But I had communications consulting. So I was doing, for one organization, I was organizing their newsletter, their monthly newsletter. I was doing their events and doing all the marketing for that. I loved it. It was cool. I could do it from my apartment, and that was a really lucrative contract for me. So again, this is how you can turn your passion and your expertise into at least $1,000 a month. If you want to be a speaker, number 3 is speaking, public speaking. You could be a keynote speaker or a workshop leader. You can do 1 keynote a month at $1,000, and that's at the low end. Most keynote speakers charge way more than that, right? But if you're just starting out, getting comfortable with this, just 1 keynote a month, 1 paid speaking engagement every month at $1,000. You can do that. You can do that. When I started out, actually my first paid speaking engagement was like $400. I didn't know my value, but it's steadily gone up since then. So you can start small. I recommend $1,000 a month. I recommend $1,000 per speech, and you can go up from there as you get more confidence. Number 4 is coaching. The 5 most needed or popular forms of coaching are life coaching, career coaching, business, health, relationships. All you would need at the low end is 2 clients per month if you charged only $500 for a coaching package. And again, this is at the low end, like at the starting out end. So you would only need to have 2 clients a month. So really just breaking it down this way, it gives you a focus for your month instead of being all over the place. So I love the comment from Quanisha that, she took our speakers training and she has had a paid training gig this month above that. So that's awesome. I love these updates. I love that. And obviously, I just provide the training. Quanisha has the skills and the story that people want to hear. So really, it's just getting the training that LaShanda's doing, that Lucinda's doing, that all of us are doing to help you move forward. So if you want to do coaching, start with a $500 package. It's a very doable package for a month if they're ready to invest in coaching. All you would need is 2 clients a month. That's all. There's 30 days in a month. It's a lot of time. Number 5 is online courses. And I love this because LaShanda already basically gave you a whole bunch of options. So depending on how much you charge for your online courses, you would need to sell 2 to 20 programs a month at $47 to $497. And this is at the low end, right? If you go up to $97 to $997, then of course you need to sell less units of your online course. But I love online courses. I'm a teacher. I loved teaching ever since I was a little girl. I wanted to teach. I've been an adjunct professor, so all of my programs have homework. Those of you who've taken my courses know you always got homework to do. But online courses can be very, very lucrative when you have expertise to share with people. And my first online course that I did, I think that maybe we had 11 people in there. And it has just grown from there. The price point's gone up. The level of people who come in our courses have gone up. But these are just 5 ways you can make $1,000 a month. Now, I wanted to share with you a strategy because LaShanda is always giving such great information. I wanted to go a step further, and in addition to giving you the big picture of how you can make $1,000 a month in your business, sharing your expertise, I wanted to give you a monthly marketing plan template you can use. Now, you're looking at this screen thinking this is the simplest, most minimalist marketing plan I've ever seen, and it's by design. I don't believe in doing 10 different things when 2 will suffice, when 2 will get you to your goal, because we already have so many things coming at us that we don't need a whole bunch of distractions that may or may not work. So this is what I use with my private coaching clients. Of course, privately I help people figure out which strategies to use, but you can use this for yourself. So all you do is you write down the month, write down your income goal for the month, for that month, write down what program, service, or product you're going to focus on for that month, and then no more than 3 marketing strategies you're going to use to sell those programs, services, or products. So I use this in my own business. Of course, we have a bunch more products now to promote, so it's a little bit we have different marketing strategies for each program. But when you are trying to get to a consistent place, like some of you may be in a place where maybe you have earned $1,000 one month, but the next month you earn $2. That's not a good place to be, because then you're not able to see the possibility of maybe leaving your job or doing certain things for your family or saving a certain amount of money every month for your son's college or for your family vacation or for your dream trip to Italy. So you want to be more consistent. So you have to be consistent with your marketing plan. So what I want to do is let you know that this model will work to help you be strategic on that. So I'm going to give you an example. I love to model things for you. So the next slide is just a quick example of how you can use this marketing plan template. And of course, if you want to work with me privately to figure out what's the best marketing strategies for your program, service, or product, then we could explore private coaching, because I do offer private business coaching. But let's just look at this month. So for January, for this you would write down January, and you could see how you can do one of these for every month of the year just using this template. Now, let's say your income goal is $1,000 since you haven't reached that goal yet. Or if you have, then it might be $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. And then what is your program, service, or product that you're offering? Maybe it's coaching, let's just say for the sake of example. Now, what might be the best marketing strategies for you to do this month of January to get you to $1,000? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of women make the mistake, they just do a bunch of stuff, just random. Oh, I heard about Google Hangouts today. I'm going to do Google Hangouts. Oh, I heard about Facebook. I'm going to do Facebook. Oh, I heard about Twitter. Maybe I should do Twitter. All of those things are good, but you have to be strategic on how you're using them and when. You don't need to do them all at one time. It's overwhelming. So what you want to do, what you may write down for your marketing strategies for this month, maybe you're going to focus on getting out a weekly blog post and email newsletter. A lot of people start blogs and they fall off, and they wonder why people aren't paying attention, because you're not giving people consistent content to look at and to read. If you want to be perceived as an expert, content is so important. If you want to be a speaker or even a coach, you need to be putting out content because people are always discovering you. And if they go to your blog and it hasn't been updated since January 2014, it's like, if this person can't be consistent with that, how can they help me be consistent with my goals as a coach, right? So you may want to get that in gear and also be sending out those weekly email newsletters. I send out emails to my email list every week, mostly several times a week. So you really want to be in constant communication with people. One of the other mistakes people make is, oh my gosh, nobody's buying, nobody's responding. Well, you have to be consistent. It's like if you're trying to be friends with somebody and you only contact them once every 6 months, they're going to forget about you. They already deleted your phone number out of their phone. So when you call, they're like, huh, who's this? And you have to sort of warm up that relationship all over again. So you really do need to be consistent with that. So that might be something you know you need to do starting this month. Your second strategy might be doing daily inspirational social media posts, because if you're selling coaching services, then you want people to perceive you as someone who can help them reach their goals and inspire them and motivate them. The third strategy you might choose is maybe you're going to be attending an in-person networking event every week to get the word out, to get your face out there in your community so people see, oh, wow, have you met Quanisha? She's a coach. I've met her at a couple of events. Have you met her? To really start building that momentum. So you really want to create a monthly marketing plan for each month of the year and then implement it. That's the most important part. So this is just an example to show you how you can implement this very simple marketing plan template. So the moral of the story, out of everything I've shared today and everything you really learned from all of the speakers so far, is a mantra. Again, something that we say a lot around the Happy Black Woman community, and that is start now, improve later. Start now, improve later. So if you're, really doubting yourself and questioning yourself, oh my gosh, am I ready to be a speaker? Am I ready to be a coach? Am I ready to be a web designer? Am I ready? Am I ready? Yes, you are. Because guess what? Have you ever downloaded an app or a software from a huge $1 million, billion-dollar company? Guess what? That first version, there's bugs. There's bugs in it. Like something doesn't work right, but they fix it because they get feedback from users. So you have to start now so that you can get feedback from people, potential clients, potential customers, so that you can improve for later. Because if you never start, you never get feedback, you can never improve, you can never excel. When I started out, I was not proficient at what I was doing. I started out blogging. I didn't know what I was doing. Now I am teaching blogging to women all over the world. We had someone from Vietnam in our last blogging school course because I have 7 years of experience and knowledge now that I can share with people. But you got to start now and improve later. Don't hold yourself up to perfection standards because they don't exist. So as a reminder, here is one of the quotes I love by Debbie Ford, and it says, all of our suffering in life is from saying we want one thing and then doing another. All of our suffering in life is from saying we want one thing and doing another. So if you want consistent income in your business, but you go and do things that sabotage success, like not having a monthly marketing plan, or not implementing it, or wasting time, or continuing to doubt yourself, you're not going to succeed, and you're going to suffer. So I don't want you to suffer this year. Let this year be the end of your suffering. So I have a mantra, an affirmation really, for you. I love affirmations. And this one is, I release all resistance to money, and I now allow it to flow joyously into my life. I release all resistance to money, and I now allow it to flow joyously into my life. So any resistance that you've had of earning money or charging money or really putting yourself out there and talking about your services, you have to release that resistance. I want you to release that right now so that you can have an amazing 2015. Now is the time for you to say yes. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to that life that you want for you, yes to the life you want for your family, the life that you want to leave as a legacy to other people. So, if you feel like you are all over the place when it comes to your business, I invite you to apply for a free 30-minute Launch Your Business strategy session. You can go to happyblackwoman.com/coaching, and we can have a conversation of whether you're ready to take your business to the next level and if I can help you. I have to say, one of the phrases my clients use for me is that I give tough love. So I love you, but I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you, because I don't think you need that. You could read my affirmations for free on Facebook, but if you want to become a coaching client, we're going to have to get down into it. So you can go to happyblackwoman.com/coaching, and you can schedule a conversation. Otherwise, that was all I had for today. Thank you so much for listening and for being here with me. And LaShanda, happy to answer any questions that people have.
Oh, my goodness, ladies. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful money talk with the amazing Rosetta Thurman. I love it. I love it. You said you have to start now and improve later, which is so important because especially when you're getting a lot of information, you will get into the space of analysis paralysis and not move forward. In order for you to be able to tweak and improve what you've got, I always tell people I love to tweak versus Twitter. If I have an opportunity to do social media or work on my business, I'm going to work on my business because that's how it gets better. So that idea of start now versus improve later is absolutely wonderful. Ladies, if you have questions for Rosetta, you can hit *6 and 1 to enter into the queue. But you guys seem to be loving the chat box as well, so definitely enter into the chat box and share your questions or your comments. I see Katoya says, I second that. Quenisha says, it's kind of jumping here. It's jumping. Quenisha says, I truly enjoyed the mindset aspect of this. Fear of failure equals calling God a liar. Stop arguing with God. Absolutely. So I think you can see the chat area, Rosetta, in case anyone has questions for you. But again, ladies, if you do want to interject or share, you can hit *6 and 1 to do that.
And I went ahead and put the link to apply for your free strategy session there as well, so people can have that.
Absolutely. So those of you listening, and if you're not participating live, that's at happyblackwoman.com/coaching, so you can get an exclusive one-on-one with our amazing Power Circle expert, Rosetta sermon. So thank you so much for being a part of this circle. I always have to say that the ladies in my circle are uber busy. They've got so much going on. And even when they're not busy working, they're busy just with their downtime, right, enjoying their personal space, going to amazing places like the photos that you shared, Rosetta, and just having time with family. So when they come inside the Power Circle and really give, not just a little bit, but truly give their all, I really have to say that I appreciate you, and I'm excited to see what you've got to offer in the future.
Awesome. Thanks so much, LaShanda, and have a wonderful 2015, everybody.
Awesome. So, ladies, we've got a few minutes before we check into our next session. Hopefully, Rosetta will hang in there with us at least for just a little bit, so that if there are any questions for you guys, you can jump in and let her know. We're going to continue to tweet and Facebook away, hashtag SSPC15. For those of you who are just joining us, because ladies are still registering, which is crazy. If you're just joining into the live session, definitely make sure that you go over to Facebook.sistersense.com so that I can approve you and you can have access to our private Facebook community as well. So I'm just going to pause for a second, give you guys an opportunity to relax, release before our next session. I believe it is the wonderful, amazing Gwen Elliott. If you are there, please hit *6 and 1 to enter into the queue so that I can see you and we can get ready for the next session. Gwen is so awesome. She's going to be talking about 5 ways to beat binge thinking and start taking action on your dreams now. So I love how all the sessions flow into each other. Keisha Lewis, she's going to be coming on talking about social media power tools. So we're going to give you a nice combination of direction as far as tools that you can use, business branding, and also just motivational mindset shifting that I feel is so essential to the process of moving forward. As an entrepreneur, I am self-motivated, and if I'm not motivated to do stuff, it just doesn't get done. So you definitely want to have all the pieces of the puzzle, the technology, the tools, the motivation, the mindset, so that you can do what you need to do to be fierce, focused, and fired up. So I'm excited about what we've done thus far, and we've got so many more amazing speakers to come. Ladies, I hope you are enjoying our Power Circle and that you're super, super fierce, focused, and fired up for all the amazing things that you're going to do this year. I love it that, we've got all these different wonderful women. Rosetta just talked about creating a marketing plan for yourself. One of the things that she talked about was in that marketing strategy, you want to be able to consistently blog, write in your email newsletter, let people know what's going on. If these are things that you are working on, I just want to let you know that I am starting the next Fire Starter Circle Mastermind, 12-week mastermind, 90 days happening over at firestartercircle.com from February to April. Inside the Fire Starter Circle, we work on 3 primary areas: one, your blog, your newsletter, and expanding your brand with your own magazine, similar to Suspense in print. You can have it digital. You can feel it, touch it, love it. I love being on the cover of my own magazine, Oprah style. So those are some things that we focus on inside of the Fire Starter Circle. We are meeting at the Aloft Hotel in Chapel Hill, North Carolina next week for our mastermind weekend. But after that, I'm going to be starting a 12-week, 90-day virtual mastermind. And if you're interested in early registering for that, that's at firestartercircle.com. So definitely want to help you guys learn how to monetize your message and really create the content that's going to fuel the information we share on your blog, your newsletter, social spaces, and all that good stuff. So I am excited because now we're going to jump into our next session for today with the lovely, amazing, beautiful Gwen Elliott talking about how to start now, beating binge thinking and taking action on your dreams. As LaShanda talked about before, you're going to find that you've got so many wonderful women sharing information to you today, sharing information with you today. So you want to pick out those pieces that are really going to be helpful and relevant to you. Some of you are starting out. Some of you are restarting. For those of you who want to figure out wherever you are in your business how to start now, I think that there's no better person than Gwen to kind of get you excited and focused on your next move. So, Gwen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am beyond excited to be here, first of all, and to learn and to share and just to have an awesome time.
Awesome. So we are going to switch over the presentation mode to you and then get started.
Woo! I'm taking the charge. Oh, my God. I can do this. I can do this. This is my first webinar I've ever been on. So I would like to thank you, LaShanda, for the opportunity to be here today and to get to share some of the ups, some of the downs, some of the, and just ultimately some of the wisdom, I guess, that I've learned over the last few years of embarking on an entrepreneurial journey. So just to check, are you able to see the first page?
Yes, everything is great. See it, I love it. Great.
Excellent. I have a lot of backup technology just in case. So I feel like I'm coming into this at the perfect time because we've learned so much today, so much incredible information from women who are sharing their best resources. So you might be at a point right now where you're thinking, oh my God, I have such great information. I don't even know where to start. I just don't even know what I should do. Like maybe I should do a Google Hangout. Maybe I should finally start my blog. Oh my God. I call that thinking. And not what they're teaching you, but when you start overthinking the different actions to take, when deep down inside you know what you have to do. So, of course, they say you teach what you most have to learn. So I will out myself as a true binge thinker. But I've learned some really great tools over the years to actually be able to overcome this and start creative projects that I'm actually getting paid for. I'm going to share with you to go on to the next one. I just want to start by officially saying hello. Many of you I have not had the chance to meet yet. Some of you I have. And ladies, I'm just excited to be with you here today. I just thought I would say hello. Okay, so I just wanted to share. This is the photo that I was sharing online, and this is the glamour shot. The truth of it is, I don't always look glamorous like this. This is me, full of makeup, hair. I brushed my hair. That was a big win for me that day. But this is what it looks like when I'm in like binge thinking mode. This is a screen grab from a video I shot all about the idea of thinking too much and falling down the YouTube rabbit hole. And falling down, for me right now, what I use to distract myself is BuzzFeed videos. Yeah, anybody else? Please let there be someone else who's in that boat. But this is me watching TV but blinking, eating a bag of brownies, drinking a beer, reading a magazine, and just overall having an F this mentality. And that's kind of what happens when you're down the rabbit hole of somebody you admire's content instead of actually creating your own. So ultimately, my intention for today, for this hour, is to share as honestly as possible about what it's taken to start, which I will share with you what I've had the chance to start, and also to help you turn that thing that you've been thinking about, I say for at least 30 days, to actually start that thing that you've been thinking about but haven't actually started yet. So what I would like to overall talk about is the starting and then monetizing it, because I feel like I've learned personally that it's really exciting to create something like a blog or your own YouTube channel. But what's super exciting is when you can actually get paid to do these. From this mission over the last year to find different ways of getting paid to do these things. And I mean, I'm still in the early stages. I'm hoping that I'm within 10 steps of where you are in your journey if you're just starting out. As opposed to sometimes when we're starting, we immediately look to people who are 100 steps ahead of us, who are making millions of dollars a year, and we're trying to learn from them. And they're in a place where they don't even know what it's like to get paid by the hour. So I'm hoping that I'm just a few steps either ahead or, somewhere like close to your journey so that these tips will really resonate with you. And of course, banning binge thinking. So I like to do a call out to you. I'm imagining that you're a mediapreneur. Now, this is a term coined by an amazing mediapreneur named David Siteman Garland, based out of St. Louis, who has really created this term of people who make media content online that they get paid for. And David's really well known for his Create Awesome Online Courses program. I had the chance to do a with him and learn a lot about his vision and learn from him to actually create my own media products, which are, some of them are out right now and some are in the works. But I imagine you're probably like this too, a mediapreneur, somebody who's interested in creating content that they get paid for. So just want to give you a new term to put in the lexicon. Okay, and I wanted to share a quote by Oprah. Oprah Winfrey, in case you were curious which Oprah I was talking about. I was watching this video that I keep watching. It's an interview with her at Stanford University, where she says that our only goal is to become the highest, truest, fullest expression of who we are. And I believe mediapreneurship or entrepreneurship can really help you get there. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many women right now are interested in entrepreneurship. And we want to just become more of who we are. And our career is not designed to fulfill us, but if we're able to actually create something, it can truly help us feel happy, fulfilled, and really joyous if we can figure it out. But of course, you can't do it alone. Got to do it with your sisters and collaborate. So here's the agenda for today. Number 1, fun. I really feel like fun just doesn't get enough love. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a good time while we're learning. Number 2, 7 tips to ban binge thinking and start now. 7 tools to monetize when you're first starting out. And 4, tons of strategies to get media attention. Because once you've started something, we got to get you in the media. We got to go big. So I want to share a little bit about myself, and then I'll just completely dive into it. So I thought I'd share my timeline of greatness and epic fails. So my background is working in TV. So for the last 5 years, I've had the chance to work on a bunch of different TV shows, and I'm from actually Toronto, Canada, where it's so cold right here right now. If anyone wants to have me just give me a call. Like, I'm there. It's cold. But over the last few years, I started by creating a TV show called Start Something Big. It started as a blog. Then I pitched it to local cable. And so I actually had the chance to go on the local cable show and talk about what I'm inspired by. It was crazy. Like, I got to go on that show and talk about this blog I started about sharing the stories of how successful people started. And then after that, I was able to finagle my way into a meeting with the station manager after that. So I pitched her this TV show idea, and they ended up picking up the show. So I got to do 2 seasons of that. And I've also had the chance to be featured in Forbes as a fierce female on for something that I started called GPS University that I had so much excitement for, but it absolutely failed terribly. So that actually could have gone on Epic Fails. Oh, well. I've also had the chance to present a TEDx talk on analysis paralysis and starting. And that was about 4 years ago. And I just looked back at it, and honestly, the advice I was sharing in that is the same information I would share today. And then right now, I'm also producing a TV show that's going to be airing on the Oprah Winfrey Network in Canada, actually starting next Sunday morning. And it's called The Naked Entrepreneur, and it's all about sharing the, quote, naked truth about how successful entrepreneurs have become extremely successul. But the way I'm sustaining myself is I also have a full-time job. So I'm working in like a 9-to-5 kind of capacity for a tech startup here in Toronto in a marketing role. So to be completely transparent, I'm not living off of being a full-time entrepreneur. I am a full-time working gal with a bunch of side hustles that I've got going. Okay, and let's just talk about the failure because that's more exciting. I bought into the idea that if you follow your dream, the money will follow. And I thought and that's true in many cases, but it doesn't happen as fast as I had anticipated to happen. So I actually moved home twice when I was age 21 and 25, and I'm 26 now. So that was like recent. Like last January, I was depressed because I had just moved home with my parents because I spent all my money and time and completely failed. So if you're in a place right now where like maybe, you're looking for a new job or you're extremely frustrated and you can't seem to figure it out, this might just be the winter of your life. It's just a season. You're going to get through this. Spring is near. Hang on, sister. And another failure was when the Oprah Winfrey Network started in California. I was living out there interning for MTV, and I had the chance to actually interview to work at OWN. And I was like, oh, my God, this is the dream job. But unfortunately, I didn't get that job, just didn't get it and failed and had to move back home. And then just kind of a funny, ridiculous thing is you don't really think of some of the weird tech problems that can happen. And for me, I started this Start Something Big site, and one day it was randomly hacked and became a porn site. Oh my God. And this was embedded into every episode of Start Something Big. So yeah, bad things can happen sometimes. Okay, so let's launch right into it. To everyone right now who's in that space of binge thinking, here's tips for you. And this is a tip that has been so consistent today. Start small. I'm talking like minuscule baby step. Let's say you want to start a blog. Why not open up a Word doc, write a title, and start writing 300 words? Who knows, 100 words, like very small. Don't start thinking, oh, my God, I got to go get my blog. I got to figure out my name. I got to, get my Twitter going. Wait, should I do Instagram? I don't know. Let's just breathe and let's just write, because through creating comes clarity. So starting small is the way to go. And if you don't want to do this starting small journey alone, actually starting tomorrow night, I'm having this free community and free course called Start Small in 2015. So if you're a creative person who has been meaning to start something but want that extra push to get going, join us in Start Small in 2015. Share what you're starting with your home zone pals. That's kind of Gwen slang, which kind of makes sense. But what I mean by this is that when you have a dream, it's kind of like a baby when it's your dream, when it's new. And what I mean by that is you have to share your baby with people who are going to give it nothing but love and are blankets. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have to share this with people who aren't going to be like, ew, why would you want to start a blog? Like, how would you make money from that? Like, these are not the kind of folks you need to share your dream with, and it's going to be hard because you might think like you might want to share it with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and they might like somebody you truly love, but they don't get it. So you've got to know who in your life might be the person that you can share your dream with, because once you share it, they'll also, if you ask them, or if they're really ambitious like you, will start asking you, hey, how's that thing going? Hey, how was that idea going? Because when I was first starting to Start Something Big TV show, I shared it with one of my friends who was also we kind of like were competitive but loved each other so much, so it wasn't like a bad kind of competition. So she would always be like, so how's that TV show going? And like there was a WordPress blog, and I was like, not great. So definitely share with the people that love you and that you love. Start exactly where you are. Right, my voice is puberty. Start exactly where you are. There's this weird misconception that starting would be better next weekend. Or how about February 1st? How about, March 1st? Wait, April 1st. Oh, April Fool's Day, bad choice. May. You know what I'm saying? Like, someday in the future, when you have more time, when you have more energy, when you have more money, no. We all have to start somewhere, and why not right now? You know, like, if you've got what you needed today, 3:15, go start it. You know what I mean? You will get this on the replay. LaShanda might be like, no, don't go. But you will get this, okay? So if anybody says something on this webinar that just hit you in the gut, is a quantum moment, the aha moment, go do it. Don't let that impulse pass you by, okay? You've let it pass by too many times. Today is the day you start. It's also very freeing when you actually start writing or, you know, creating your podcast or whatever it is, because you get this weight lifted off you and you feel the momentum. The gratitude practice. I have a jar where it's not consistent yet, which is something I'm working on. However, I feel that by actually writing down what you're grateful for, it makes a huge difference. Like, if I'm to reflect on the last year, like literally as I was mentioning, at this time last year, I had just failed, moved home, and I don't know, it's not like, it was just frustrating because I lost all my motivation, but it was back then when things were rough that I knew I had to start something to start feeling grateful for anything. So I got this from the dollar store, and I started ripping up random scraps of paper, and I'd write down, grateful that I have a bed, you know, grateful that my house was extremely cold, so I'm not grateful for the heat. Grateful for, you know, having food, that my parents would actually take me back in, because I know for so many people that's not even an option. So I challenge you and encourage you to think about right now, even the opportunity to be on a webinar like this. This is amazing, man. So this is just figure out what you could do to really exercise gratitude in your life. Set up compare boundaries. This is huge. So nowadays it's so easy to compare life to the lives of strangers on the internet. You know, just if you go to a website you admire, you're really only seeing their highlight reel. You're only seeing the pictures they spent money to put up, you know, the best of what they got going, and even when, you know, somebody's sharing a very vulnerable aspect of their life, it's not the full picture, you know, like they might not share the real deep, dark parts about what's happening there. They'll share what presents them in the light that they want to be seen. So when I say set up compare boundaries, I mean, if there's a specific trigger for you that leads you down the binge thinking rabbit hole, for example, whenever I go on Instagram, it's like a vortex. I am sucked into Instagram. I don't even know where I ended up. I'm looking up like Black China pictures. I'm like, Gwen, you don't need to know what's going on with Tyga's ex-wife. Please get off this. That's actually a real life example. So when I say compare boundaries, if I really need to go on Instagram for some reason, I will set an intention on Instagram and say, I have got 10 minutes and I'm going on there and I'm going to comment on one person's picture. I'm not just going to be an observer. I'm going to actually do something. And there was a time too, you know, sometimes when you're in the darkest moments, you have to get off of your triggers. So I deleted Instagram from my phone, just get that out of there, because truly the idea of compare and despair is so true. You know, you have a great moment, you're posted on Facebook, but you see maybe a rival or someone else doing even better, and it's like, well, damn it, why should I even share this? Create a sense of urgency. There is another misconception that we have so much time to live till we're 90. Why would I start it now? I mean, give it a year. Why not? Well, the truth of the matter is life is so precious. I mean, what is even happening here? We have this crazy shot to live in the way we've been brought into this world and to actually create something. And if you don't feel this pull or this sense of urgency, you could just give it years, you know? One way that I've been able to do this and create this sense of urgency is actively surrounding myself with people who are up to something. Like whether it's going to a meetup group, going to a conference or a mastermind, being on an event like this where you open your eyes to, wow, people are doing some amazing things. Like, oh my God. Find a way to just surround yourself with people who are up to something. And you might have heard the quote that you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. This has been a real guiding principle for me, and realizing that, you know, of the 5 people you spend the most time with, who are they? And chances are there's a lot of similarities, everything from where you want to go on vacation to where you eat for lunch to how much money you make. So if you want to up your game financially, start surrounding yourself with women and men who are making way more money. This is something I do when life has just got the best of me. You know, when you're just at the end of your rope, you're just or extremely stressed out or burnt out, not knowing where to start, I will either go for a walk to get out of my head and back into the body and just take a moment, put your hand over your heart, and just feel the beat. And just remember, oh my God, okay, I am alive. My heart is still beating. I have something to give. I have something to create. I'm here. So this is just something I do. It's a very kind of sacred, intimate thing where you're like, okay, let's get this. Let's do this. Okay, so those are my tips that I use to stop the binge thinking. I'd like to share with you some of the tips I've picked up in the last year or so on how to get paid. I mean, this is a topic that is so it's so fascinating to me. And I have 3 younger sisters, and we've actually just started something called Mo Money, Mo Progress, where we're creating a website and a podcast where we're going to be interviewing women who are willing to share what it's like and how they got paid and how they learn negotiating when they're a freelancer. Because right now it's a black box for a lot of us, and so if you have any advice to share on that, please get in touch with us because we are building this as a community. So now let's learn a few ways, a few free tools actually to get paid. All right, fun graphic. So this one I actually discovered from LaShanda, cells. This literally blew my mind. I was like, I cannot believe this is a thing that I didn't know existed. So cells is so great. I'm using it to sell start strategy sessions that I do right now. But you can set it up in a couple of minutes, very quick, and you can include PayPal. There's a lot of different apps you can use and different ways you can get this out there. But if you're a coach, like Rosetta was saying just a few moments ago, if you're a freelancer and you need to find a way to make some cash and you want to like set up the money coming in, use cells. Oh my God, so easy. Gumroad. This is something I discovered when I had an intention to actually sell an ebook I wrote called How to Connect with Influential People When You're First Starting Out, which is now free. But when I was thinking of selling it, I discovered Gumroad, and it's great. I mean, I think Natalie Sisson, she has a website called the Suitcase Entrepreneur. She uses it a lot. And I can confirm it's a real company because I go to San Francisco here and there for work, and I saw their office, and I was like, oh, my God, you're a real company. That's so great. PayPal. Ladies, you know PayPal, but oh, my God, let's just give PayPal some love. You have so many lives. Thank you. FreshBooks. This is actually a company based out of Canada, but it is amazing. Wait, I shouldn't say but like as it would be bad because it's Canadian. But FreshBooks is awesome. So it's what I use actually for invoicing, and it's very simple. It makes you look extremely professional. This could be really good if, say, you're a freelancer and you don't want any like fees taken off from you actually getting paid. Use it, easy as pie. Highly suggest. Tilt, this is a new one. So Tilt is essentially a crowdfunding app. I first discovered it because one of my friends, she was diagnosed with cancer, and if you are in that position, you feel very helpless. You're not really sure help you. What do I even do? So I came up with this idea to help her go to a spa. It's like a spa. That's what I would want if anything bad happened to me. And we were able to raise $925 through Tilt. And I have become a Tilt ambassador now, and I use it all the time for e-transferring money because it's free. So if you want to e-transfer money for free, any amount, if you use the code TILTGwen, you can do that for free. Just simple thing to set up, debit card, easy as pie. Stripe. Stripe is another financial godsend. They do charge the 2.9% plus 30 cents per successful charge, but it is an extremely streamlined, beautiful experience to actually buy from, and thousands and thousands of small businesses use it, so it might be something to consider for you. And finally, share something that's not a digital kind of product, Square. Square, if you are selling a product, a physical product, or even a coaching product or something like that, Square is amazing. Basically, it's this little gadget you just can put into your iPhone or your iPad. All you got to do is get a credit card from someone, swipe it, and you just got paid. Oh, yeah. Square is amazing. I've used it personally, and one suggestion is, say you're at a conference and you're a coach and somebody heard you how to work with you, how do I buy your product right now? Just put Square into your iPhone, say, well, actually, all you have to do is swipe here, and here's just a couple more that I would suggest that are for some like if you have a really big business and you're looking for a really intense e-commerce solution like Magento, Shopify. I'm sure there's some ladies on here that have a Shopify store. If you are pre-selling something, Braintree.com is an incredible source. Braintree is getting huge. Etsy, of course, if you're making some great, beautiful things. And Wave is an alternative to FreshBooks, and it's free. Okay, that was a lot of money information. A lot. So I'd just like to take a quick moment to just ask you, what right now is actually holding you back? Like, what is it? You're hearing all of us ladies sharing stories and, hearing the failures, hearing the wins, and it's almost can be like entertainment in a way, but if you really look at your personal life and there's something stopping you right now, whether it is just starting out, or if it's taking your life to the next level, can you look at it? Just take a look at it, because I'm willing to bet it looks a lot like this. Fear, really at the core of what's holding us back, whatever we call it. It's fear, the false evidence appearing real. I don't remember who said that idea, but it really sticks with me because we usually create the failure in our mind. It hasn't actually happened, but in our mind we're like, I am terrified of this happening to me. I mean, one way that I actually overcome this is sometimes I allow my brain to actually go there. Like, what if I start something new again and I move back home with my parents again? And you go through that process and actually feel the fear, and then you do it anyway. Great book. So let's see if this works. This is a miracle. This is Beyonce, kind of an awkward angle of her. Oh, God. But I just feel like, can we just be like her? Imagine being like this for a moment, just ready to take the world. God, she's the best. Okay, that was just for fun. See, I said fun. Woo. One thing, too, that I wanted to share that I just love this clip so much, and I'm not going to play it right now, but it's so great. A lot of times, the advice of follow your passion, which, yes, is incredible if you're passionate about something. However, if you are just starting out, you might just feel the curiosity. And what that actually kind of sounds like is just like a, I wonder what it would be like if I actually started a blog. Like, it's a very subtle kind of feeling, whereas passion, you're like, I'm doing it. I'm going to start this blog, and it's going to be amazing. So I encourage you to watch this. This is actually when Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, was on tour with Oprah. That's Oprah's microphone on the right-hand side. And it just really inspired me because I've never started because I was passionate about it. I started it because I was curious about it and believed it could happen. So if you're in that boat, check that out. You'll feel amazing. Okay. All right. We've got some time left to share media tips. So as I mentioned, I've had the chance to work in TV for the last 5 years, and I've been very lucky in terms of getting media coverage. I've been able to be featured in a ton of different outlets, from TV shows like Extraordinary Women TV and shows or national magazines, and really when I was just starting out. And even as I had mentioned a few minutes earlier about being on that local cable show with my blog, on my website, I have an actual download of how to get press when you're first starting out. That actually looks a lot like this, how to get media when you're first starting out. The first email that I sent out to a media outlet to actually request to be on their show. And I talk a lot about the mindset of being on a show as well, because sometimes you think, oh, media is for other people. Like, I could never be on a show. But that's a huge misconception. You know, if you see a friend of yours that's on TV and you have that feeling of, oh, I think I could do that, you totally can. Don't be the one that's holding yourself back, okay? Let's just make that clear, that if you see someone else doing it and you want to do it as well, girl, get yourself on TV. Also, a lot of different stories were shared in this ebook about different people who were able to get on Ryan Seacrest, Good Morning America, how to create viral content, how to actually I'll share now. Here are just a couple of different ways that I've actually had the chance to use to be on different shows. I've also hosted different panels in Toronto called Share Your Story in a Big Way, where I would invite TV producers of major national TV shows to join us as a panelist. And the audience was women entrepreneurs who wanted to know, how do I get on your show? And these are some of the tips that they shared, as well as tips out of the box tips that I have thought of that will work. The key is to be persistent when it comes to TV. Before I get into one more piece of advice I want to share, sometimes when you think of media, you immediately think of, how do I get my business like on the Today Show or Good Morning America or something like that, like something big. And this is the worst thing that can happen to you if you're first starting out, or getting an article when you're first starting. Why? Because you are not set up to optimize for this kind of attention. What that could mean, unless you're a whiz. I shouldn't say that like a blanket statement. You might be killing it with optimizing and getting your email list ready and all that stuff. But generally speaking, if you get a hit in Oprah Magazine or on Oprah Online and people go check out your site, they might be like, yeah, it's all right, it's okay. But that's why I say start small and start with local newspapers. Start with, if you went to university or college, they have a newsletter and they have a mandate to actually share stories of alumni. Why not, pitch them an idea? They also print magazines likely. Or podcasts. Oh, my God. Please start with a podcast. And you're on a podcast and have the chance to hone your message while you're on there, because you can be in pajamas when you're doing it. You don't have to worry about, do I look okay? Is my hair okay? Am I wearing the right color? All that kind of stuff. Okay, so the art of thinking outside the box, let me just explain what that means. producers get a ton of emails every day from women and men, but women to request that they be on their show. And a really interesting thing a producer had shared with us was that there was a person who sent her balloons, so when she opened the box, the balloons came out, and it was like a real kind of little mini office spectacle. And this person was able to get on the show. I forget what they were pitching, but they were really thinking outside of the box. And I mean, something that I'm actually working on right now, kind of weird. I'll have to report back on if it actually works. But I'm extremely passionate about the binge thinking idea. So I'm I've actually done it. I'm getting beer bottles that I'm going to cover over with a new label, and I'm going to be putting a sticker on there that I've already got about binge thinking is a new epidemic. It's the new gluten-free epidemic of 2013 or 2014. So I encourage you to think, what could I do that's kind of out of the box, what for whatever your niche is, and brainstorm with people to try and figure that out. Go to another city. So this is kind of fun and kind of a weird hack, but say you're coming to Toronto. You're glamorous and exciting if you're from another city. It's like, oh, you're from Pittsburgh? Oh my God, that's so cool. You know what I mean? You're glamorous and different. So I highly suggest if you're traveling, say for a conference or something like that, especially if it's for a conference, because then you're doing something that's actually benefiting you as well. You're sharing it with the conference, or you're participating in some way. So get onto local cable sites and different things like that to actually pitch yourself. And I got to share a quick hack that I've used to find email addresses. Besides guessing them, there is a tool called Rapportive, R-A-P-P-O-R-T. So say you are actually trying to guess an email address. If you download Rapportive, which is a Google Chrome plugin, it will actually when you start typing in an email address, it connects to people's LinkedIn. So a little pop-up will come up to show you if you got the right email address or not. So that's just a little tip, Rapportive, that's super handy when you're trying to guess people. Go to a show taping, volunteer to be on camera. I have friends that work at lifestyle TV shows. I've actually been on a couple lifestyle TV shows because no one volunteered. But if you go to these shows where it's kind of say a Rachel Ray type show, or a Stephen and Chris, which they're also on in the States and on the network, they want to do these makeovers. They want to do, your bedroom with our expert. That person who is getting that expert advice, or being on camera to be the guinea pig, I guess, essentially. And here's why. The producer will have to email you and talk to you, and you're doing them a favor. And so then say you want to pitch yourself in an upcoming time, you pitch them, or say, hey, I know that you do all of the kind of interior design work for the show. Curious if you could put me in touch with a fitness person, because I've got a really great idea that I really think could fit with your audience on the show. So that's very, very handy. I said become friends with media people. Obviously, if you're not in a major media place, this could be much more difficult. But media people, and I'm currently one of them, so I can say this with pride, but we have egos. We like to be asked to speak on panels and stuff like that. And so, there's likely going to be events where there's media people that have come out to speak, and they want to participate in different marketing kind of events. So try and hang out at those kind of events and get to know these producers as people, or these writers or journalists as people. Ask them out for coffee or something like that. I mean, it might not work every time, but remember, if you are asking them for coffee, to actually remember to lead with something that you can offer them. This was a tip from a producer from the Nate Berkus show and Queen Latifah show, who was one of my mentors at MTV. She said, hang out at the right bars and restaurants. And I was like, what does that mean? And she said, you're actually getting the chance to, she's basically saying that TV people like to drink, I think was the bottom line there. And if you go to these different events, networking events in the evening, or you discover what are the right bars that the actual producers hang out in, you might be able to strike up a conversation. Warm introductions. Obviously, this is very amazing. I've been able to get, I think I'm at like 8 people now on local cable in Toronto because they asked for, or I suggested I could write them a warm introduction. Somebody who's been on a TV show, and you truly feel like you have something amazing to offer, that show, be bold, ask your friends to make you a warm introduction. Definitely mention the podcasting. And right now, I would even say go on iTunes and do a search of, people who cover the topics that you're passionate about. It's very, podcasts are a really easy way to start getting practice, honing your message. Use your real voice. So one of my coaches, her name's Sarah, and she has a company called CareerGasm. Yes, for real. She was able to become very successful through being honest and through emails. And every time she answers an email or is online, she's being herself, because TV people, they want to read something interesting. They don't want to read an email that you're saying them that doesn't sound like you. Oh, my God, no. Find an editorial by this is having somebody, whether it's on your team or somebody who works in journalism. Like, for example, my sister, she's not Jewish. We're not Jewish, but she works at a Jewish newspaper. And she has a mentor there who is actually helping her move up the ranks. And having somebody who's on the inside, if you're thinking of going the kind of the journalist or magazine route, having somebody that can actually look over your email and your pitches will be very helpful when you're trying to get into these publications. And work with a PR intern. Super cool story. There's this amazing entrepreneur named Miki Agrawal. She's the author of a book called Do Cool Shit, and she has 3 other companies. She has a PR intern who basically sends out the pitch to hundreds of publications, like university publications, big publications. She was actually able to get her company into Oprah magazine this year around the holiday season. And the weirdest thing happened, she said, was that the biggest ways that her company thinks was discovered was through the PR intern submitting an interview to a local university paper that was picked up by Reddit and completely blew up overnight. So that was a real, that was a real eye-opener. You never know where that big hit is going to happen. And final words to the wise on media stuff is that you got to do it. You know what I mean? This is such a huge opportunity for you. And I just want it to really sink into you that you can get yourself in the media at any stage in your business. I started with a terrible blog. It was bright cherry red and ugly. If you Google Gwen Daytime Toronto 2011, I think, we'll see it. It's hilarious. And then say you do get on TV and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Seriously, just download my free book. It has all the tips on there and many more stories of how to get in there. Okay, so I'm winding towards the end. So my question to you that I want to ask you is, what do you want to start? Can you post this in the Facebook group? Can you post this somewhere? Can you actually declare this? Can you write this in your journal? Can you, put it somewhere that will actually inspire you to start? So as I mentioned earlier, and I want to be transparent and hope you hold me accountable, ladies, but something that I'm really excited about starting this year is a website to help young women who are completely frustrated with finances and understanding it, especially with the amount of freelancers coming into the economy right now. I don't know where to go, like, to learn all this stuff. So I want to start by creating a podcast. That to me is the easiest, funnest thing I can think of to actually start. And I'd be very curious to know what you really want to start. All right, ladies, so here we go. I would like to, at this point, just thank you so much for all of your time listening today. And as I mentioned right at the beginning, if there's anything that you heard that extremely inspiring to you, or you had an aha moment or something, there's no better time than right now to start. And if you want to keep in touch, you want to say hello, you want to hang out with me on the interwebs, or if you're ever coming to Toronto, just drop me a line, just grab a coffee. I'm a big fan of the coffee. Let's connect. Easiest way, gwenelliott.com. You can also go on there to recent blog post I shared about the journey of how I went from my original website to what it looks like now, which is literally like night and day. I'm like, how does my site look like this now based on what it used to look like? The Start Small in 2015, free, fun course, people from all over the place doing all kinds of weird stuff. We're all doing it all together. Feel free to shoot me an email. And I have another free ebook called How to Connect with Influential People When You're First Starting Out. So please feel free to download that if you would like to. And that is my presentation for today. Thank you so much for listening.
Gwen, this is so awesome. I have to say it's been such an honor for me, just being your first webinar. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
First webinar inside the Power Circle. Truly a wonderful experience, because I think that what's great about having you here is you've got a wealth of media knowledge, and you are talking about not just what you've done so many years in the media game, but as an entrepreneur, for the ladies who, if you're starting out and you're somewhere close to where Gwen is, you can really identify with her story. So I have to say it's been wonderful having you here inside the Power Circle. I saw Quanisha say that she loved your energy. So I absolutely want to make sure that ladies stay connected with Gwen. She's tweeting away. I posted one of your tweetables, which I thought was great. You are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. I thought, wow,
yeah.
That's, who do I spend my time with?
This includes, like, significant others. Like, this is not, you know what I mean? Like, not just the business or friend people. It's like, am I hanging out with my mom a lot? Am I becoming my mother? Like, you might be.
And that's true. That's true. I know I have those moments where my son probably gives me the look I used to give my mother. So, but, you definitely kind of want to reflect on who is around, and that's really the essence of the Power Circle, right? The idea that if you're around people who are doing power, you can power through everything that you're going through in your life to just kind of keep moving forward. Now, we talked about your ebooks. They're on their website. Is there a particular page on the website? Just want to make sure ladies know how to navigate your space.
Totally. All you do is go on it. You scroll to, like, the bottom half, and then it's like, press for your passion, making the money, or something else. There's something else there that's handy. But, yeah, basically click. There'll be a pop-up, immediately download. And then you will have all the wisdom, the palm of your hand on the screen.
Awesome. This is definitely something you guys want to take advantage of, especially of those of you who didn't have the opportunity to join us live and you're listening to the replay. So you can go there, you can connect with Gwen, and make sure you take advantage of all the media information that she has to share with you, especially you guys. You're constantly saying, you know what, LaShanda, I want to get more media. I want to get speaking engagements. I want to be on television. She's going to be next week on OWN. Isn't that amazing? You guys definitely want to say a shout-out and say awesome to Gwen for having her show featured on the OWN network in Canada. That's an amazing accomplishment, and we just kind of want to make sure that we're there to support you in the States and for those of you who are international as well in however way we can.
Thank you. It's amazing to me. You think someone, like being on a network like that almost seems like impossible when you're first starting out, and it really is to start small. Like I remember when I was having that first conversation with the host of the show, we went to a place called the Pickle Barrel. We had some food and making a show, and I was like, okay. And then okay. And it started as a web show produced by students. And then we kind of started like, very small. And then we were able to get it picked up by local cable. And based on the quality of the guests, we were able to get it into the hands of Oprah herself. Well, Oprah in Canada.
Yes.
But so, I mean, seriously, if I can be a part of something like that, you can definitely be a part of something like that.
And I have to say that I also love the authenticity of it all, because I can tell you that YouTube photo, I've had my day.
Yeah.
Kind of watching BuzzFeed, YouTube, scrolling through. I don't know how it's possible to spend 3 hours scrolling through the Facebook feed, but it is. It is.
I know. And you see, those things like we look so nice, with the pictures, and it's like, sometimes I don't look like that. Most of the time. Yeah, but it's okay. The key is, like, when you're down that rabbit hole, is to say, oh my God, and then you have to leave the screen. The key is you can't go from like being 3 hours down the rabbit hole to creating a beautiful blog post. You have to walk away and clear the channel, like clear your brain before creating again after that.
Absolutely. One of the things that we talked about is having to kind of say no more Instagram. For about 6 months, I told myself no more Facebook, because I needed, if this is going to be an issue, the touchy or a distraction, got to get rid of it. You asked a really important question, what's holding you back? A couple of people responded in the chat. I saw Quanisha say, perfectionism. You've got to be conscious of whatever it is, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, your own personal mind, and then kind of figure out how to shift so that you can do exactly what you're talking about today, which is beating the binge thinking.
Oh, beat it, ladies. Ladies, let's not let binge thinking win in 2015, all right? All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to hold you guys accountable to that. Just as Gwen said, hold me accountable. I'm going to be working on some amazing things this year, and we definitely want to see what's to come. So, Gwen, thank you once again so much for joining us inside the Power Circle.
Thank you, LaShanda. This has been so much fun, and I mean, I can't believe I did it. This is the first time it happened.
Awesome. Ladies, we are powering through. Gwen, I want to make sure if there's anything else you wanted to say before you go, we can let the ladies know.
Start. That's it. Start.
There you go. So, ladies, I want to make sure that you've got everything that you need before we jump into the next session. Congrats all around from all the wonderful speakers. And also the ladies just letting Gwen know congratulations for her upcoming show on the OWN Network. Congratulations once again. There's just so many wonderful things happening with the ladies inside the Power Circle. They're communicating with media outlets. They're building their businesses. They're going into amazing spaces like Hawaii and Mexico and living it up. All these things, from starting somewhere in their business to moving to that next step. So you want to know that you can have anything that you want to accomplish, especially if you're willing to go through those days where you don't quite feel right or look right. Just stay fierce, focused, and fired up to move forward. They're doing it. You can do it. We all can make it happen. We've got our next speaker coming up in just a bit. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, I am here to answer them. We're on Twitter, #SSPC15. We're in the Facebook group over at facebook.supersense.com. Hopefully some of our speakers are still hanging on with us. I also want to say a special thank you to two amazing ladies. We've got Pam Perry in the house, creator of Pam Perry Ministry Marketing Solutions. She's awesome. She's sharing so much via Twitter, on social media, as well as Sisters in Charge. So you definitely want to follow Quanisha at Sisters in Charge. You guys are doing an amazing job supporting the community. All of you are sharing and tweeting away. absolutely loving it. But these two ladies are firing it up on Twitter right now, and I just kind of wanted to shout them out as well. So our next speaker is the wonderful, amazing Carol Sankar, and she's going to be talking about the confidence factor in just a bit. Carol, if you are here, can you hit *6 and 1? Just so that I know I can see you and I can unmute you. And just a friendly reminder, you guys, as soon as we have the replays ready, they're going to be on the replays page for you. Until then, you've got access to your bonus sessions as well as your exclusive interview videos with Renee Seiler, TV personality, talking about the fact that you are good enough. She's sharing her life lessons learned from corporate women TV personalities to entrepreneur, small business woman, and then. So she's got an amazing session, as well as Tiffany, the creator of the Budget Nista website, Tiffany, a.k.a. the Budget Nista. She's talking about how to live richer and focus on your financial fitness. So we're talking about branding, social media, monetization, it's just all this good stuff in the circle. So, again, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fabulous time, and we've got so much more to come. Ladies, we are rocking and rolling inside the Power Circle. Today, our Fierce, Focused, and Fired Up webinar conference is moving strong. Lanita says, a lot of wonderful content. Paula says, this conference has given me so many tools to get started. Katoya says, I have not been able to step away. Eyes are glued. Yay, loving it. Loving the fact that you guys are here. You are focused on what we're talking about today. You're getting so much insight, information, inspiration, and then some. We're going to keep it rolling. We've got the lovely, amazing, talented, and absolutely funny. She's hilarious. I love her. Carol Sankar, she's going to talk about the confidence factor, what you need to know if you're interested in doing more, making more, seeing more happen in your business. Again, so excited to have Carol here. Carol, you ready? You ready to rock?
I'm ready. I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I'm ready.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to hand over the presenter mode to Carol, and then we're going to jump in to our next session.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, is it up on your screen? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Carol Sankar. I am praying that these slides work as they normally do, but I'm trying a new PC. I am now a Mac user for 3 days, and I don't know if I'm fully ready to do this, so we're going to work through it.
Oh, my God, back to PC. Okay, hold on 1 second. Before you jump in, if you could just take your start meeting screen and shrink it.
Okay.
There should be that little arrow, little circle with an arrow in and out. I'm so bad at this.
It's a little. Just put it down to the bottom because I can't. There's none here. No.
I think it's on the top, the little button with the circle and the arrow.
I don't want to leave now. No, it's not there. Wait, hold on.
Okay. All righty, Carol.
All right. See, I told you. Mac user for 2 days. Not sure if I'm doing this right or not. So I'd like to thank LaShanda, as always, for always inviting me to be a part of everything that she has going on as far as the Sister Sense Circle. This is the first year we're not live, so it's like I'm live and not live. I'm used to being there in the flesh. You know, I'm used to, like, 4 o'clock in the morning making that Chapel Hill drive. So, you know, this is like not real to me. I'm home in my home doing this. So I'm just I'm always appreciative to be around you and all of the Power Circle sisters that we all have in this alignment. And so today I'm really dipping and dabbing into this confidence factor. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I don't proclaim to be famous. But my name is Carol Sankar. I'm the founder of a former company that we used to operate called the Millionaire Mindset Entrepreneurship Program. If you guys know me from that, I'll talk about where that is right in a moment soon. And I'm a business advisor, business consultant. I now deal with more high-end, more corporate clients, helping them to be able to grow their businesses, surpass their 6- and 7-figure level by putting infrastructures and profit analysis in place, all that nice little funky stuff. So the confidence factor is kind of like this thing that developed along the evolution of me going from just doing and consulting with just the everyday entrepreneur up to really working into this corporate level where I'm at this year. About 2009-ish is really when the confidence factor kind of was born in my company, because I never used to service women at all. That just wasn't something I ever did, not intentionally. What had happened was I also invest in real estate. And in real estate, you don't meet a lot of women. And the few that you do meet are real estate agents. They're usually the receptionists. They're usually some type of admin. So I don't really meet a lot of women in real estate. So I got up one day, and I really wanted to connect with more women in real estate. Besides, it was brought to my attention from my own mentors, who happen to be a whole group of men, that, it's ironic that we have you around us and women are still not really doing business with you. So I said, okay, I wanted to see what I had to do to make this happen. So we started really putting together programs and systems for women to come in. And what I started noticing is women would come into my real estate training programs, but none of them would finish. So year after year after year, this would happen. And I really didn't consider it a failure. I just considered it really more of an intimidation. And then it was brought to my attention about 2 years later that this is not intimidation. Women just don't have the confidence to do, and then we go through a whole list of things that women just don't have the confidence to do. So the research was birthed at that point, trying to figure out what do women need in order for them to get to the next level? What do women need in order for them to stop taking pennies and really start going after the money that folds? What do women need in order for them to go to venture capitalists? Yes, VC money. I'm talking 7-figure, 8-figure money. What do they need to do? What do they need to be equipped with in order for them to be able to walk into venture capital meetings and really come out with the kind of checks that they need to? Because all successful businesses, and I'm going to say this and I want y'all to write this down, all successful businesses have been built with other people's money. So that's why you need to find the other people who have the money that will invest in you. And I'm not talking 10,000, I'm talking millions. And there are ways that you can do this right now where you are at the level that you're at, whether you're thinking about it, whether you're there, whether you just want to think about it, whether you're contemplating, or whether you're a procrastinator. There are ways for this to be able to happen. So welcome to the Confidence Factor. We're going to spend just a few minutes going through what it is, how it's really conceived, what you really need to do in order for you to kind of break through the mental barriers that you may have so that you can be able to go to the next level. So opening up my screen, of course, I'm just going to tell you that you can demand more in business. That's wonderful. And I love my new little logo. I skipped a whole slide. Okay. So basically, if any of you have not read Lean In at this point in your business, any of you who have not seen the book need to get the book. Once you read Lean In, somehow not only would your mindset change, you would start realizing that some of this is somewhat intentional and some of this was, I would say, self-delivered thoughts. I don't know if what we have not been taught. I have no clue. I'm a little Trini girl, and there's certain things that I probably don't know myself. But if you actually read in Lean In, there's a section in Lean In that was kind of blogged by this woman. I forget her first name, Emily Lemon. I could probably not pronouncing her last name right. I apologize. But she mentions that for every dollar a Caucasian man earns, so that's your 100% percentile kind of rank, that the average Caucasian woman is only earning 77 cents on a dollar. The average African-American woman is only earning 69 cents on a dollar. And the average Latina woman is only earning 57% or 57 cents on a dollar. So this brings a huge point, and I'm not sitting here trying to do the whole historical thing. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to bring it to your awareness that the people you mentor with can only take you to this limit. So when I said to you earlier that most of the men in my life and my mentors, I had no clue that I was being mentored in a different category. I had no clue that I was hanging around people with a different category. And like I said, most of the people in my life are a whole bunch of men. So when I wasn't figuring out what women needed to do, I realized that when we keep giving in to these barriers, and the sick part, this is 2013. So that lets us know this is not like a few centuries ago. this is the kind of research that people are doing and figuring out why we're not getting to the table. So when I say lean in, Sheryl Sandberg brings up a good point about women showing up, but women not taking action. And so when I see that we're still at this rate in 2013 is when the study came out, but 2015, we're still having these problems. The issue is I'm watching women in business who are not at their fullest potential. And it's not to say that there's something holding you back. It's not to say that people are holding you back, but we do have a different mindset. And so, therefore, when we go into this confidence factor, it's time for you to embrace what a new mentality is going to allow you to do. So if you know, and, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but if you know you want to have that $1 million breakthrough, you have to look at who you're aligning yourself with. And so the issue is always, how do we get out of this mold without having to say, well, all we can do is just, train with Caucasian men. You have to do a little bit higher than what you're already doing. And I find it, I guess for me, I find it a little odd because I'm somewhere in that Latina, African-American woman thing. And so it's kind of harsh when I see this kind of stuff because it makes me know that we've got some work to do. All right. So when I started doing this research, when I started becoming the nerd that I am, I wanted to know where were other women that were doing better than us. And so I had to look and see what the research suggested. And actually, as of this morning, it kind of changed a little bit when I first wrote this. But there are women in Panama, women in Thailand, women in Ghana, Ecuador, Nigeria, Mexico, and Uganda who are outperforming women across the globe. Outperforming us across the globe. As a matter of fact, this morning there was a study that said women in the Philippines are outperforming us as well. So this lets us know that there is a model we can follow, but we have to get to that model. And one of the things that, and I don't know if I would have the time to do this, but one of the things that they do successfully in these 7 countries that we don't really have is that when women reach the top, they come back and pay it forward intentionally. So their female CEOs reach the top of their executive level and their C-suite levels, and they make programs for other women to be able to train with them and figure out what they need to do. And they usually train the next top CEO from right there. And that's how their companies have so many CEOs and so many political leaders who are women at the top ends of their level. So when we talk about earning millions of dollars, when we talk about $1 million earners in their businesses, when we talk about that, the actual leverage of having effective mentorship is a huge thing. Having people who are around you who don't give you all the fluff. I think women have been fed too much of fluff for too long. This is really important. So when we have women who are at the top of their game, especially here in the United States, when we have women at the top of their game who are not turning back, and we also have another problem. We have women who are at the bottom of their game who don't go to the top and ask for leadership nor mentorship. So all of that is that huge disparity, and the gap is making sure that women are able to take advantage of their confidence factor. So the research also shows, and I didn't write this. Don't blame the messenger, just the message. It tells you research shows that women doubt their capabilities and fear failure more than men. Training can equip women with the confidence to see bold ideas through. There's a new program, and I shouldn't even say it's new. I taught in this program in 2008, I think. I was one of their instructors with the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women Leadership Club. You need to be in alignment with women who are already doing it. And Goldman Sachs, to me, and just in my opinion, happens to have one of the best programs where they're trying to put out 10,000 C-level executive women a year through a training program. Many women, and I'm going to go a little further, many black women rarely join the program. And many women that do join, many of them do not finish it. So when I was there, even though I don't remember at that time, I think it was maybe about 600 women, many of them didn't finish the program. But when you do go through the program, they teach you all the strategies you need to know. They teach you everything from funding, everything from getting yourself prepared for funding. They teach you how to pitch, because what I think that also women really don't know is how to really pitch. In the real world of venture capital where I'm at, you only get 8 minutes to be ready. Don't let Shark Tank fool you. Nobody asks you that many questions in the real world. They ask you one question. tell me your idea and tell me how much you need and what you need it for. It's a yes or no. You get 8 minutes. So what Goldman Sachs, in my opinion, does that I think is brilliant is they teach women how to get to those meetings and what to say when they're there and how to really leverage the people that are in the room. Because, like I said, in the average venture capital meeting, depending on what round you're seeking, you get eight full minutes to present your idea and get funding. And that is for usually your, I'd say, $500,000 to $10 million range. You get 8 minutes. Imagine all of that for that amount of work. Okay, so here are some of the key issues that we know that women face. I know y'all not going to like me after this, but I promise you we're going to get through this together. A lot of women in business, a lot of you on the line, and you guys know this, and I'm gonna put your cards out there really harsh. You're feeding your fears and distractions a lot more than you are feeding your business. Many times I know women who will sacrifice the hour to watch Scandal, and that's the hour that they can be making a client call or doing a Skype session or being in a meeting or writing a pitch or proposal. We feed our distractions a lot more than our men. A lot of us do not negotiate. The failure to negotiate is killing women in the boardroom every day. I go to a lot of meetings on a weekly basis. I got one on Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Negotiation is a skill that I think that women just don't know how to leverage. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about leveraging and asking for $50. I'm talking about how to go to a table, present the value that you have, and know when to say yes, no, or this is my rate and it's non-negotiable, and really get people to take you seriously. Negotiation for women is really one of those main decisive and divisive issues that we kind of really got to get through. Pricing. I'm a pricing guru. I'm going to take that as a conceit issue because that's what I proclaim to do. I work with a lot of companies on really pricing, especially like eWomen Network and a few others. Pricing is that little soft spot that women just seem to not get through. And I think a lot of that has to deal with authenticity. So if I think that LaShanda charges $35 for a session with her, I think I should charge $34.99. That's just how we do. Not necessarily saying, so LaShanda charges $35. I love her and I'm gonna support her and rock with her, but I charge $3,500. We just don't know how to price ourselves effectively for the market we serve. And I think one part that's in this, the reason why we don't know how to price ourselves is because we don't know the markets we serve. So when I meet entrepreneurs who like to say, I service women, what kind of women? Women who need help. Help with what? Well, I'm a life coach. You're not a life coach. You don't just help women, and you don't just help women who need help. You help women between the ages of 35 and 45 who make $60,000 a year that live on the west coast of Michigan that need what kind of breakthrough. When we're not specific, we don't know what to charge. So charging is a huge issue, but it also goes into when you don't know your market and you don't know your numbers, you don't know what to negotiate for, and so it goes back into feeding the distraction again. The next thing is, ladies, y'all justify yourselves way too much. So here's the thing. I'll even share an example with you of non-justification. A lot of people like to say, well, your prices are too high. Can I do this for you instead of that? I don't negotiate, and I don't have to justify what my prices are. It's not personal. It's business. I don't want you to think that, I'm being nasty about it or whatnot. But here's the thing. Justifying yourself means that you don't believe in yourself enough to say what your number is and hush. You just keep it quiet. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify yourself. The price is the price. It is what it is, and that's it. I'm never going to a car dealership and ever hear them justifying the price. It is what it is. You do what you do in order for you to get what you have to get. The next thing is taking advice from the wrong advisors. I see this all the time. Women who only take advice from people who they feel most comforted by. Women who only take advice from people who they know or who their friends know. Just because you may have had a great breakthrough with such and such doesn't mean that's for me. The advice that you take is really what's taking you wherever you're going right now. So you have to be careful who your advisors are. And so this is the one thing that I can't stand, ladies. And, again, don't hate the messenger now. You guys don't form profitable partnerships. And this has always been a key issue that we've always seen with women. And even when I started this research, a lot of what we came up with a lot of what we found is women only started partnerships with women they already knew. So here's how you lose a friend very quick. I'll show you how. So me and LaShanda are really good friends, and we are, right? So I started a partnership with LaShanda, and then I blame her for not marketing it correctly. Then she blames me for not bringing the people in, and the next thing you know, me and her fall out altogether. So the quickest way to lose a friend is to become partners with a friend who may not have a skill set that you need to form a partnership. I form partnerships with people who have exactly what I'm lacking and vice versa. I give them exactly what they're lacking. And it always is a checks and balance system. But many women we have studied in this particular, and we studied 100 women for this study, only pick people they know. And if they don't pick people they know, they pick people who they already know. So they never go outside of the alignment. And so make sure you understand that if 2015 is your year to say this is going to be it, form partnerships with people who you don't know and watch how much further you will grow. Form profitable partnerships, not just your friends. Your friends are not going to help you. I promise you. It's never going to happen. The failure to be authentic. I already said it, right? So I said about making sure you're not copying your prices from someone else. Making sure you're not saying you're a life coach because somebody else is a life coach. Just because somebody is named a life coach or a lifestylist doesn't mean that should be your name. When I woke up one morning and I said, what are we going to rebrand as? I didn't look around to see what other people were doing. What I said was, what do I bring to the table that's different than everybody else? Don't call yourself what everybody else is calling, because here's my motto, and you can write this down if you want to. Authenticity has a different price tag than copying. Authenticity has a different price tag than copying. Those who are authentic stand out, and anytime you stand out, especially in business, people notice. Your clients notice. Your customer notices, because they don't want the experience that everybody else has had. Everybody on this line has been to McDonald's, but very few people can ever say they went to Chase Moore's to have a hamburger. To me, it tastes the same way, but not many people go because authenticity stands out. It could be the same experience, but once you're authentic, people start recognizing your authenticity. All right, next, failure to know your numbers. All right, ladies, this goes back into mathematics. I don't know why we don't like math, and a few of us that do like math, we are always ostracized for this, and it's not your fault. But math is a huge thing when it comes to business. If you don't know your profit, revenue models, and your price point, your end caps, and your margins, you have a problem. Sally, you're in danger, girl. You're going to have a problem. And a lot of times I meet women who, I don't know numbers. I'm just passionate. It's wonderful that you have passion. I'm talking about when you're standing up in front of the people who matter, the only thing that they're concerned about is actual numbers. They want to see proven numbers. And I'll even take it one step further. Bootstrapping your business for success before the numbers is going to be essential to show that you can already know how to be profitable long before the profit takes place. So all of those are going to be necessary and essential for you. All right. The next thing is making sure that you know how to seek capital. So seeking capital is probably one of those pivotal things that I think that many people, and especially women, don't know how to do. So how do you leverage venture capital? I'm so glad you're on this line talking to me, asking me that question. So when we do venture capital meetings, and my next venture capital meeting is coming up in April here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I say venture capital, I'm talking many of these guys started about $1 billion and more with a B, with a big B. Now, they do stuff under $1 million, and they do stuff up to $1 million. But here's what venture capitalists look for. They look to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to make money. They don't care how passionate you are. And this, I always have to remind women, this is the real world. And in this world, they don't care how passionate you are. I just love flowers. They don't care about that. How are they going to make a return on their investment? The second thing is, how much equity are you willing to give up? So you've got to give up something in order for you to get something. And then the third thing that most VCs are always looking for is, how much money have you raised before you called me? So let me talk about Shark Tank for a second, because I blog for them. what Shark Tank is a basic 2-hour incubator of the same thing that VCs are looking for. They just prep you better so you're TV ready. But in the real world, that's not really how it works. But here's how you have to look at Shark Tank. Always look at how they're always asking you, do you know your numbers? What's your valuation? What's your profit margin? How much equity are you giving up? And they always ask what percent. You have to know how to seek capital. I don't care if you ladies are not making money. Always know how to get out here and be investment material. I started my business with $1, a dream, and a U-Haul truck. No money in my pocket. I raised capital to buy my first property. I raised capital to do the second one, the third one. I raised capital to buy my first shopping center. I raised capital to do what I'm about to do in 2016 with doing a development deal. I've raised capital. I'm good at it. And the reason why I say don't keep thinking my business is too small is because if you don't attract them before you make money, you will have a problem asking them for the money when you make money. They need to see the model kind of works, and they're interested. There are a lot of VCs out here. There are a lot of angel investors out here. They will fund you. But because we don't show up, ladies, it's very difficult. This is my second year doing the VC Summit for the Southeast Venture Capital Summit. Last year there were 1,000 attendees, 15 women. Let me say that one more time. 1,000 attendees and only 15 women. Out of those 15 women, there were only maybe 10 of us that sat in the front. This goes back to not knowing your numbers and not feeling confident enough to sit in billion-dollar rooms. You have to up-level. They're out there. They're willing to invest in you. You just have to be in the room when this happens. All right. Sorry about preaching, but that's what I do. Focusing on quantity rather than quality. So in my entrepreneurial life, I see many women that will say, well, how do I get 8 million followers on Instagram? How do I get 5 billion friends on Facebook? But are they your target market? It really wouldn't matter if you got 5,000 friends on Facebook. I got 5,000 friends, and if I do business with maybe 1,000 of them, that's not even, a good return on investment. My issue is be less concerned with quantity than you are with quality. It only takes one person to come into your business to change the actual outline of your business. You don't need 5 million or 5,000. I don't do large stuff because, if I have a lot of people, that's wonderful, but it's exhausting. I'm not going to lie to you. But you don't need a lot of people. Focus on the quality, and the quantity will build itself from there. Once they see that you have a quality product, a quality service, a quality anything, they will see that. Before I say that, spending more time on social media than face-to-face marketing. Entrepreneurs of the world, women. Face-to-face marketing is key. Face-to-face marketing in the actual target market where your ideal consumer, customer, and clients are aligned are especially key. I don't go to anybody's anything where my target market is not going to be there. It is wonderful to have Facebook pictures of me standing next to people, but if that's not my target market, what am I doing it for? Let me tell you, I have all the awards to do that, driving up and down the road, putting hundreds of miles on my car, flying everywhere, to stand in front of people who are not my ideal target market. 2014, I got real smart and serious, and I stopped doing it. I have more time to spend with my ideal target market instead of spending on social media because I went and only networked intentionally with my ideal target market. So make sure you're spending time face-to-face market with your ideal target market. Next thing that we have a problem with, ladies, is we're on information overload. Some of you guys go to every conference, you read every book, you do everything, and then you get on too much overload. And so you're investing right, but then you have too much, then you get overwhelmed, and this is where procrastination is birthed from. So figure out what works for you and where you need to start. Start there and stop with the information until you get a system together. Because I was like you one day. I owned every book, every NOLO book, every this, every that, and I could not figure out what was the best way to get started. I saw somebody else's website. I saw something I should write, and it was too much. Stop being on the information overload once I started implementing what I already learned. So implement what you already know. And then last but not least, the lack of confidence to leave your comfort zone. So I'm going to wrap all of this up by saying this. When I see women who are in the same networking group with the same people you already know, it's not going to grow your business. Every time I go to something, and if I can walk into a room and I know 5 people, I know I have now back in my comfort zone. So I should never go into a networking event and say, hey, Barbara, hey this, hey that. I should never. I need to be introduced. That's how you elevate your community. That's how you actually expand your territory. I need to be introduced to people. If I go into a room and I already know you, I'm not networking. I'm just going back to a little family reunion. So make sure that you're always up-leveling and going outside of your comfort zone to meet people. All right. Next but not least, the rise of the female entrepreneur. So now that I finished hurting all your feelings, and I love y'all, I'm sorry, but the rise of the female entrepreneur is basically this. The problem with the what research is suggesting is that it says that by 2025, just based on all of those 14 things I just gave you, by 2025 we're supposed to be at the equilibrium of men. But if we don't start changing some of the way we think, some of the way we process things, some of the way we go after capital, some of the way we go into meetings, we don't start changing that, maybe it's just me, I don't see how it can happen. I think that once we really, the optimism of the women who are making it, that's one thing, but once we start really working back and starting taking women with us to that next level, I'm not seeing where that is going to be. So here's how we have to really change it. A lot of what we now know is based on mentorship. It's based on women aligning themselves with mentors. You're on this call not by accident. LaShanda put this together because she knows where women are suffering and where women are lacking in their business, in their finances, in their mindset. She didn't do this without intention. So if you learn something from each and every speaker this weekend, the one thing you should take out of each one is, who is my mentor now? And when I say mentorship, I mean literally aligning yourself with somebody or a few people, at least somebody who can help you grow your business and elevate your mindset and really choose a real mentor. I think many of us think that a mentor is that person you follow on social media that say great things. I say a lot of crap on social media, but that doesn't mean I'm your mentor. What it basically means is I have something to say and I think it has value, I'm going to say it. I want you guys to find mentors so that you are actually up-leveling yourself so we can change these dynamics, because the reason why the confidence factor is important to me is because I'm tired of being the only woman in the room. I'm tired of going, and like I just said, 1,000 people last year, 15 women. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of not looking around and there's a ladies' room. You know how many meetings I go to and there's no women's bathroom? And I have to go back in my car and find a gas station. Just the little things like that where we are omitted, and not intentionally. It's just because you don't show up, they don't make room for us. And when you do show up, y'all don't ask enough questions. So finding mentorship this weekend is essential. And then for us who are leaders, we have to learn how to be mentors. Some of us are selfish. And you know what? I'm going to put myself in the same box. I don't know how everybody else feels. But sometimes we're so busy working on our own businesses, we forget to turn back and say, what do you need? And I will say I'm guilty of it. It's just the life that I live. It's just, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have things going on. I have projects going on. And so sometimes I will admit 6 months has gone by. I haven't said anything to anybody. You need me? You need anything? But we as leaders, we do have to learn how to be mentors ourselves, because it's our obligation to pay it forward to our sisters. We also have to learn how to be more confident. So when you get to the negotiating table, literally walk in with the intention, I'm going to get this money today. We have to get to that point where we're not intimidated by asking for what we want. And then the next thing is we really have to build networks. We have to build our tribe. I say it all the time on social media. I say it everywhere I go. I am building my tribe. I'm building my tribe of people who I intentionally want to talk to. I'm building my tribe of people who think bigger and better than me, people I can learn from. When you build your tribe, don't build it with people who you talk to and sound just like you. Get someone who makes you have to get a dictionary to learn what they're saying, because that's going to be the only way we're going to change the dynamics of what's going on with us, why we're not getting those seven-figure opportunities, why some of us can't leverage the opportunity, some of us can't get certain things done. Why? Because we don't know how to network. We're networking with the same people. Like I said, if I walk in a room and I met you and I met you and I know all of y'all, I'm out. I'm gone, because this is not going to grow me. This is only people I know. I need to grow, so that's where networking takes place. The next thing is trusting your instincts. That's the reason I stayed home in 2014, because I had to trust my instincts. I had to say everything that I have done so far, has it led me to going to the next level? If it has not, do not put yourself any further into a situation where you're not growing to another level. Ladies, we got to take more confident action with trusting our instinct. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. It's okay. Nobody's going to demonize you for it. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be in the right places. Now, this study at Intuit as well as Forbes always says to get certified. I'm not sure if I believe in that, but that's just me. But many of the other ladies on this call are probably going to believe in that. So I'm going to leave it here for now. We're getting certified in something. I just believe that certification could actually take you off your will a little bit, but that's just my opinion. And then last but not least, don't wait for the right timing. I think procrastination is birthed out of waiting. And so thinking that when this happens, that will happen. So when I meet women who call me and say, Carol, I need funding for my new business, like I had a huge consultation last night, and I need to build this and I need to build that. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for, and then we go back into this. So timing is a major thing. If you really want success, don't wait for the website. Don't wait for the business cards. Don't wait for the next person to call you. Don't wait to see if it's on Google. Take action. And if you cannot find one, attract one, meaning you start it. So when I first got started as a business consultant, I couldn't find what I was looking for. I started it. And several years later, we're doing just fine. So what you have to do is literally start with what you have, start where you are, and continue to grow from there. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying, how are we going to get our confidence back in our businesses? So the emotional pricing, ladies, it doesn't work. So people could call you all the time and tell you, oh, I don't have the money and things are tight, and I understand that. But you cannot use anybody's excuses that you can't pay the light bill with. So no more emotional pricing. Cut that out of your business model. Trust me. I hear every excuse, and I have heard every excuse under the sun, from who died and who's sick and who's this. And I always say the same excuses you have are the same problems I have. I'm just like you. My son is sick. I'm still showing up. My mom is sick. I'm still showing up. There's things that go on. It's life, but don't emotionalize your business into getting caught up in that. Charge what you're worth. Forget about whether or not it's too expensive or too cheap or whatever. Charge what you are worth. Everybody has a worth schedule and a worth scale. Charge what you are worth. Whatever your company, your brand, your model is worth, just charge it. Forget about what people think about it, because once you charge what you're worth, you're going to attract people who know the value of doing business with you. Ask bigger questions. So 2015, I'm dedicating this to the year of intentional design. If you're not asking me a 7-figure question, somehow I'm not answering you this year. It's not personal, but I want to hear those big questions. I want to hear, how do I get from 0 to 7 figures real quick? I want to answer those kind of questions, because if you're just asking me how to get a Facebook post up, for some reason I feel like we're not intentionally up-leveling. So asking bigger questions is really going to be the key. Aligning yourself with proven leaders. And many of you, no offense, some of y'all are aligning yourselves with starters. Just because somebody has a cute website up and can say a lot of nice things doesn't mean that they're a proven leader. Find proven leaders. For me, Donald Trump is my man. So I'm trying to find a way to go to New York and go meet him really, really soon. Find that person, find those leaders, and align yourselves with them, and figure out a way for you to be mentored by them. Don't accept excuses as payment. Going back to the emotional pricing again, many of you are taking other women's emotional disasters as payment, and you're offering free services and free this and free that. And I know LaShanda talked about activating your vision. Here's the thing. How are you going to activate your business if you're allowing people to give you excuses as payment? You have to go ahead and elevate your vision by literally stop accepting excuses as payment. The next thing is about being authentic. I talked about it already. Authenticity has a different value scale. It has a different worth and value. It has a different price altogether than the copycat value. Be selective with the company you keep. I'm really, really a big believer of making sure your inner circle is so tight you can see everybody with one eye. I don't have a lot of people around me, but the people that are around me outwork me on some days. Some days I can't keep up with them. Those are the people who inspire me. When I get up and things are already done, because I'm a 2 a.m. girl. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, letters are done, emails are done, the car's already started. You ready? Those are the kind of people I like being around because they keep me on my toes. They keep me very informed. They keep me active. They keep me energetic. I love those types of people around me. And learn how to say no. It is more important for you to learn how to say no to a lot of things than a yes to everything. Because the one thing you're going to realize is that your business model is going to be very important for you to limit the amount of yes moments that you have. Say yes to opportunities and no to things that are not going to allow you to grow your business to the 7-figure level so you can attract the kind of capital that you need. And that's really what the confidence factor is all about. So I don't know if LaShanda wants me to take questions and however you guys want to do it. But I know one thing, like I said, really start really being intentional about the way you design your business this year. It's really important for you to understand that the confidence factor is not built out of women playing small. You don't deserve to play small. Like I said, if you're here this week, and that means you want to play big. If you want to play big, do big things and ask bigger questions, and you'll see bigger opportunities. And that's it, Miss LaShanda.
Well, listen, that just isn't it. That is more than enough because I feel like this is stuff that folks need to know, right? When you get into a space where you're listening to Carol Senkar and you go, okay, well, you know, you got those moments because you're reflecting. You got to reflect on the relevancy, right? This really hits home, and it's not just about I don't have enough investment capital. Well, I don't have enough of what I need to move forward. You know, when I did Back to Business last year, one of the speakers, Dr. Venus Oporisi, said, are you charging based on your self-esteem or your self-worth? And, you know, we get in that space, which I feel like this is why it's so important to hear what you have to say, hear the reality of it and what needs to happen in order to move forward in your business and in your life. Ladies, if you've got questions for Carol, you can definitely enter into the chat and let us know what you're thinking about. Katoya says, I agree because you spend time waiting on certifications rather than building a foundation. That was in the process of you talking about certifications. So Lenita said, certification should be looked at when it is the right time. Just kind of interjecting some comments here based on what you were talking about. But, of course, ladies, if you do want to ask Carol a question, now is the time to do so. Ruby says, awesome. Cornisha says, yes, lots of moments.
I didn't even know that.
Marcelin says, how does one approach someone for mentoring and get heard?
Literally, tell them what your intentions are. So every year I open up my own practice to younger, especially MBA students, and I find out what their intentions are. I just don't want to just be like, I'll mentor the world. It's wonderful to think that you can, but time is the main thing. But you really need to let people know what your intentions are, and if your intentions mirror where they are. And so, therefore, if you want to learn how to build a building, find a builder and let them know what your intentions are. Like my mentor, it's a guy, well, it's a team named the Tribute Team, and the president of the company is named Dellum. How I found him, I was sitting next to him. I always say God makes no accidents. I was sitting next to him, and I was making a joke about Tribute, not knowing the CEO was sitting next to me because I always find their buildings to be odd. So when I'm sitting next to him and he's looking back at me, people are like, oh, my God, that's him. I speak my mind, turn around, let me tell you what I think of your buildings. But here's how mentorship took place. I said my goal and my desire is that by 2016 I want to start developing my own properties. And he says, are you serious? And I said, yes. I said, let me show you that I have the land already. I just need to know how to do it. So my intention matches where they are, and they took me on. So every other month, I go to Memphis, I stay for 2 weeks, and just literally mentor that way. That's how you approach mentors.
So really being purposeful and clear, kind of moving away from that space of, pseudo-celebrity, oh, my God, I love you, I want to just kind of take in everything you have to offer.
Yeah.
But being being aware of that, their time, and so are you, so you want to know what to ask. Here's another question for you from Quenisha. Where do you suggest women start when they are starting out?
Start where you are. The website doesn't have to be cute. The business cards could be something you cut out. Start where you are, but as long as you start. Stop thinking about whether it has to be a WordPress site or a Googly site or a Wix. Forget about all those things. Some of the most profitable people I know don't have websites nor business cards, and they're not thinking about them either. Start where you are with what you have and get into the market. But my main thing is if you're going to start, you have to start with a lot of steam. So network, shake as many hands as you can, tell people what you do, be very vocal. And here's the thing, if you don't have a website and you don't know where to get started, although I want you to talk to LaShanda about getting your website because that's important, but if that's not where you are, be very intentional about the fact that when you're in a room, you sell yourself right then and there. Don't walk out with, I'll call you. Anybody who tells me I'll call you, I know for a fact you're wasting my time because I'm here now. So what more do you want with calling me later? I'm here now. Don't call me later.
There goes another I love it. As Rosetta also said, you want to start now and improve later, because the reality of the situation is the only way you're going to get better at this is if you put your foot in it right now. It's not going to be right the first time around. In order for Grandma to cook that stuff that we absolutely love, I'm sure she screwed it up a couple of times. So, you've got to be able to kind of jump in and be conscious of that. And even, I love the fact that you talked about whether you have a website or not, you start with, I know my first cards, oh, my God, they were the ones with the edges because I went to the Staples and got them. You print them out.
Yes, with the little ridges on the end. Oh, my gosh.
Listen, everybody had those, or either that or Vistaprint, wherever you could start budget-wise.
Whatever you could start.
But you started. That's the concept of it. That you absolutely positively have to start, and you've got to implement. So whether you have no website or you come to me and you say you want to build a website, what I love about doing the work that we're doing inside of the Firestarter Circle is it's not just about these are the tools that you're using. It's implementation. You're writing your blog content. You're writing your newsletter. You're writing a magazine, whatever the case may be. You're putting your foot in it now, because it can't just be, well, these are great tools to use and you never use them. That doesn't help.
Exactly.
So starting now, implementing. Definitely some awesome things that you can do. Carol, let the ladies know what you're working on next and how they can stay connected.
I'm working on the Confidence Factor next. The next Confidence Factor Symposium is May 28th and 29th in Charlotte. It's going to be a lot bigger than the last one because our VCs my VCs are coming to get some ideas from some lucky women on what they want to invest in for 2015 and 16. So that's what I'm working on now, as well as the book is done. Just can't give it to y'all till July. But anyway, the book on this is done, and what we're doing with the book is really we've been working with a lot of corporations to basically get women out of their way. So I'm really working on, I call this somewhat of my ministry, tired of watching women that are in their own way and ignoring their own greatness. So really what I'm doing this year is really working on the Confidence Factor. We're really working on the Confidence Factor Symposium, working on real estate, and staying intentionally quiet. LOL.
Intentionally quiet. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I even myself, there was a year that I just kind of focused on going out to events, soaking up information, meeting new people, and then the following year I was like, nope, sorry, not going anywhere. I saw one person said, they have difficulty focusing. That's a part of the process, You have to figure out, is it time for me to go full force? I remember LaShanda doing, SNL, Saturday Night Live with LaShanda. She was going state to state. She came in Charlotte. We had a great time. You've got to, if you're going to focus, can't be all things. Can't be event planning all the time, or, can't be sitting in my room all the time.
Right.
It's got to be purposeful at that. So I love that you talked about that. I had a great time at the Confidence Factor, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks in 2015. Bigger and better is always a great thing. You do have some more questions here. Katoya says, what is the millionaire mindset?
What was the millionaire mindset is It's dead now. We're sorry. The name of the company before we started transitioning for this year was the Millionaire Mindset Entrepreneurship Program, and the reason why we buried it is because I really want to work with highly committed entrepreneurs, and the Millionaire Mindset was a period in my life that existed up until 2014 where entrepreneurs in different levels, especially mid-level entrepreneurs, can come in and literally get the strategies they needed to grow their business. The reason why we're changing the model and the mindset is because I want to be very strategic. You really want to get the work done, and I hold you accountable, I'm going to hold you accountable. So the caliber of the conversations have definitely changed. So that was what the Millionaire Mindset and what is happening now in the Carol Sankar brand is I'm really looking for highly committed, non-questioned entrepreneurs, not the ones who are how do I. I'm looking for the ones that I'm ready to. Start your sentences with I'm ready to, and I will show up and do the rest with you.
Wonderful. So, ladies, you want to make sure that you stay connected with Carol. I know you guys probably have more questions that you want to ask, but I want to make sure that we are rocking and rolling and ready to go into the next session. So, Carol, I want to say thank you, sister, and thank you so much for being a part of our session today.
Thank you.
Always wonderful to have Carol. I know that it's not live, right, in the sense that we're not at the Chapel Hill this week, and I love having my Power Circle experts come out and actually have an opportunity for you to engage with them face-to-face. But that will be happening once again. Just as Carol alluded to, sometimes you got to put things on hold and transition to that next thing. So we'll definitely have opportunities for you guys to connect in person with some of our Power Circle experts. Next week, I still will be at the Aloft Hotel, just with a smaller group of women inside the Firestarter Circle. Our three-day weekend mastermind is happening next week. And then from February to April, I'm doing a strictly virtual mastermind Firestarter Circle. So if you guys want to participate in that, the information is at firestartercircle.com. So thank you once again, Carol. You guys, we're going to check out for a bit. I'm just going to pause.